tiny bit out of breath. I was doing like a... How do you say that? What actually is the word for it? I have no idea. Like a little bit of a warm-up or something, you can call it, I guess. But yeah, essentially just like jumping jacks. Not. I need to do more. Like the last couple of weeks, we haven't gone to the gym or played tennis at all because of the birthday preparations and then the birthday and now like cleaning up after everything and stuff. So it's really, I don't know, we haven't done much. So yeah. I don't know, just hits harder than usually, I guess. I at least hope that it hits harder than usually and that I'm not always this, well, unfit. But anyways, for what? Actually, let's do highs first and then I get into this. But welcome pandas, and welcome Luna. You've made it in the beginning of the stream, Luna. I'm so happy. Like after we sort of like honestly like missed each other a couple times, like at the end of stream or like only had like the last half hour or something, I'm so glad you made it to the beginning. So welcome. How are you two doing? And hi Billy. Oh, you already have a free stream streak. Hype. Thank you so much. I feel honored. Hi Ellie. Welcome. So many people here already. Oh my god, guys. I'm so happy. Love you all. I made it because I'm not at work today. Well, good for me. Sucks for your boss, but I don't care. I'm glad anyway. Well, actually, like, are you sick though then? Like, are you not okay? Or like, do you feel okay? But, yeah. You have lip liner on or something? I have like lipstick on, yeah. And my lipstick essentially is lip liner because they don't sell the color anymore I like. Yeah. Oh no, the economy. But yeah, so why did I do jumping jacks? Well, so I had like 2 minutes on the clock for like when the stream is starting. And honestly, I just noticed I feel a little bit like crap and I feel like, I don't know, just like no energy. So I was like in my mind, like sort of going through the checklist. Okay, like why could that be a thing? Like it's in the morning, like was my sleep that bad? And to be fair, I had to wake up like earlier and I'm not doing good with waking up earlier. Because I had like a doctor's appointment today already. And well, the doctor's appointment was about like my headaches. So update on that. I'm gonna get an like not an MRI, but like a how's the other thing called? Radiology picture, I don't know, of my spine. Because I told them like what happened to me as a kid, like that I fell and like never seen a hospital and stuff like this a couple times. So yeah, and he was sort of like, oh, so like falling from like 3 meters, that's a serious height. Nobody ever checked that out, not even your mom. Okay. We're gonna look into it. Like this could be a thing. Like this could definitely cause headaches. If you were always prone to headaches as a kid already, yeah, like that could be a thing. He was definitely way more on board and way more energetic than my previous doctor. So switching doctors definitely was a good idea. To be fair, for so early in the morning, he was a little bit too energetic for me. Like it was exhausting to keep up. But I'm honestly like rather this than something else. Like it was just Like I don't want to say like I didn't like that or anything. I'm just saying it was like I'm really trying to keep up here, but it's tough, bro. Like give me a coffee first, please. So I'm gonna get like the radiology, I don't know, picture, whatever, tomorrow actually already. Like we're gonna make an appointment tomorrow. And I'm gonna get like a hormone test too. Um, so that's really, really nice. And yeah, but yeah, so he also checked my spine and it like whatever he did, like it hurt. But the actual like really annoying thing and surprising thing to me, honestly, was that after I got out of the appointment and was cycling home, like thankfully with Zach, but like as I was cycling home, I actually felt like I got like a lot of headache and like lower back pain, and I felt like I don't know if this is a normal difference people can feel or if that's just a thing I can feel because I'm like autistic and I see this like in more of like a pattern, like very rational view. But I low-key like I know when I'm about to pass out. Like it's like a certain feeling and I have the like I pattern recognize that feeling. And with that feeling, I knew like, okay, like this is not like I'm not at the point where I like of no return, where I'm like certainly gonna pass out. But I'm at a point where the pain is sort of like growing from that point where it's like originating from. And it's like low-key leaving a numb feeling. And if that gets like more, it's like sort of like so if this is getting like over my head, then it's like I'm gonna pass out. Like that then it's like bye. Um so I rested and stuff like this. And now I sort of feel fine again, but it's definitely like something which is in the back of my mind, just concerning to me. I'm really glad I'm gonna have the like picture be taken tomorrow, so hopefully they're gonna find out soon. And otherwise, I'm just gonna text the doctor about the repercussions of whatever he did, because that's probably also a very interesting indicator. Anyways, so because I noticed like, damn, I feel like out of energy and all of this, and sort of down, I just did a few jumping jacks to get my body going again, to wake up my, I don't know, energy system, however you call that, and to get ready for the stream. So that's what I did. Yeah. Oh, you have to leave soon? Wait, aren't you in school right now, Pyro? Or are you already done with school and now is your date, or how's that going? Every time Ellie uses my emotes, I'm like, love you. You're fine, you're normal for you, that's good. You had too many hours work before, so she today and tomorrow are free. So so you guys decided today and tomorrow are free. Nice. So the weekend too, then? Like today, tomorrow, and the weekend, or rookie mistake? Just clock out and get back to work. Jumping jack is way inferior to Humpamana. Fair. The what is just better. No school for me today, but I gotta make sure to catch my bus on time. Ah, I see, I see. Why do you have no school? Like, is it just like a regular school-free day or something? Or tomorrow we gotta go to school for report cards, though. Oh, okay. Report cards is everything like with your grades on, right? Because I'm not sure if like I'm not quite sure about like the English translation. But I think that's what a report card is, right? Oh, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Exams ended, so this is 2001. I see. So you already have like well, so wait. So if your exams ended, you just have free? For like the rest of the week, or comparing like apples with pears right now or something? Hi. You new to streaming? Find you on just chatting? Oh no, I'm actually not new to streaming. I have streamed since, oh my lord, 2018. Yeah, but I switched a lot. I did a lot of different stuff. So I'm new to, sort of new, I guess, to just chatting and like mental health streams. Like before, like at the beginning, we started actually with German gaming streams. And then like I don't know, like so many different games. And then we switched to English, but still gaming streams. And then we switched to English, but mental health streams. So yeah. New in the just chatting space. So this is my like 24th just chatting mental health support stream. But I'm glad you're here. So we just started and we're sort of just, I don't know, talking about random stuff right now. And then we're moving on to mental health check-ins. So if you want to take part in the mental health check-ins, it's essentially just, yeah, just sharing how your mental health is, how you've been doing in the past couple of days, usually for us, because the stream's like twice a week. So most people just say like in the past couple of days, like since they have been last on the stream. But of course, since it's your first time here, just a general how you've been doing is sort of the idea of the mental health check-in. But yeah, this is where the 24 is coming from. It's like 24th mental health stream. I mean, there isn't really any point in teaching us anything new if the holiday break is coming up soon as well, and everything from last semester has been studied for exams. I mean, you know. That makes like, to me that makes sense, but in our school like nobody cared. Like we just like we kept on studying. Like even while exams, we had like all like our exams was like a regular lesson, like a regular class. And just instead of having the class, we just wrote the exam. But like all the classes before and after on that day were like all regular classes. So like on exam day, you still were able to write like a small test in other classes, or were like, I don't know, like questioned in front of the class and stuff like this, or maybe even had to like present a PowerPoint or something. So it's really like everything was normal, except in that class where you wrote the exam instead. That was how it worked for us in our school system in Germany. Yeah. Switching to English, worst decision ever. Well, I don't know. Your English seems pretty good. Probably even better than before. I'm so nervous I'd miss my bus. Yeah. Just going well on time is always a good idea. Just have like a lot of buffer, and then you're like for sure gonna make it. But usually I leave streams when they switch languages. Well, a lot of people did, right? But yeah, it was definitely like transitioning to English was like a harsh switch. And I do think it low-key fucked me in the Twitch algorithm. Like, I feel like slowly, Twitch is actually getting that I stream on English, but like, especially in the beginning, nope. No, absolutely no way. Especially with my other social medias, it's like super hard. Like my TikTok, for example, is still usually just being shown to Germans and stuff like this. So it's definitely like, considering growth, it was suicide. For sure. Like, it was not a good, like, business decision, but it was definitely a good personal decision. Because, yeah, I don't know, it just... I don't know, honestly, like, I'm already, like, so happy myself because my English got, like, so much better since I started streaming on English. Because it's just really good practice, to be honest. How's your Dutch, by the way? I've never heard you speak Dutch. Well, so, I'm really bad with, like, languages in general, right? That's why, like, being, like, good in English now is actually, like, one of my biggest accomplishments in any type of language. My Dutch is okay to the point, like, I can read most things, and I can, like, talk to people I have to talk to. But it's not a thing where, like, you want to talk Dutch to me if you can speak English to me. Because like, I probably won't get any jokes. Like, especially if they're, like, sarcastic or ironic or whatever, like, I probably won't. Like, any type of, like, words, meaning type joke, I won't get. And, like, any, like, more specific topic where the words are... I don't know, just more scientific, just like, for example, like with a doctor or something, I always speak English. Like, I don't know, like if they would literally ask me like mental, like health stuff, not mental health, but like health stuff in Dutch, I would be instantly lost. Instantly. So, Arbeits, Ongeschiktheidsverzekerings, matcha, matcha pay. Shop matcha pay? Matcha. What do you do with IJ at the end? It's like ice, it's like ice, yeah. Matcha pie? Is that really how you do it? But yeah. Goedemorgen. Hasta Laren, welcome. Also, believably using my emotes. I'm glad you were happy with the English switch, Pyro. And Ali. Is this like work thing? It's if you're not able to work anymore, your insurance, uh, the much of I, yeah, I don't know how to how to make that work in English. But yeah, it's a work disability insurance company. Yeah. Isn't like matcha pie more like... No, wait. What is March? I thought that's more like a membership. But not membership in membership thing, but more like... Uh, oh, okay. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's definitely, it's company, corporation, society. It can also mean airline, community, or firm. But yeah, it's definitely company. It's not membership or whatever. I was thinking. I just pronounced that word and Voldemort spawned in my house. Very possibly so. I instantly believe you. Welcome, welcome, Indie Crab. How are you doing? Well, German and Dutch are kind of similar to Swedish. Ah, I thought Swedish people have these like funny letters. I'm a prepare. I don't know if I'll be back. Bye bye. Enjoy your date, Pyro. Enjoy, enjoy. Remember to always stay nice. And consent is sexy. 5-stream streak! Let's go, Esther. Botaram, komkommer. Yeah, so like I don't know, I guess like normal Dutch or something is like fine. But yeah, and as I said, like reading is also usually fine. And I sort of like get the drift of what is being said, like because of context. But yeah, it's like for normal conversation with like friends where like maybe even you want to talk about feelings or something, you don't. You just don't speak Dutch to me. You just speak English to me. Like if you want me to get more than like a more complicated meaning of something, then definitely English. Like that's not the level my Dutch is at, and that will take probably years. So yeah. Bedrijf is what we use for company now. Yeah. That makes like this is also like something where like in German it would be Betrieb. So it's really like with words like these, like usually I can like read it and make sense of it just because like German is so close to it. But yeah, when I have to like speak myself or like there's a more like detailed meaning to something, it's really hard. I honestly like at the beginning, I remember I haven't tried ever since, but at the beginning when I was listening to the radio in the car, I wasn't able to understand anything because I was just like I couldn't hear where one word ends and the next one start. Because they just talk so fluently. And you know that if you know the words, but if you don't know the words, then you don't know it. But yeah. So why don't you stream Super Seducer? I leave that to other streamers. It would be too powerful. It's so bad that only 95% of the Dutch also speaks English. Yeah, that's really helpful. But to be fair, what's slightly sad, but I absolutely understand why that is the case because I also noticed it myself, and I think that's really just a thing for like any person. If you don't speak another language well, it's like really hard to take the step to like be vulnerable and talk about your feelings. So it's actually sort of hard to make friends which don't like aren't comfortable, like actually comfortable in English. So the most of our friends are actually not Dutch, but also other expats, because they are really comfortable in English, and then you can have like you can build up a vulnerable friendship, right? Also, they don't have like a friend group here, like a school friend group sort of, and are also looking for friends because that's the other annoying thing. Like if you get part of a new community, or if you're the new part of that community, everybody else has friends already, but you don't. And you're always like building new friendships takes effort. So most people don't invest that effort if they're not like also slightly desperate. So you need to find other people who need a friendship or are putting in the efforts. But yeah, that's definitely harder with, or like less likely with people who might already have like a very well-established friend group. So that's also the other sort of sad part. I don't even know that guy. Hmm? Okay, you need to tell me more about this. Because I'm like, I feel like I know what you mean, but I can't know for sure, right? Because I don't have your experience. So, can you go more in depth about this, Bilibli? Because I learned English in Germany, right? And I definitely also noticed that, for example, my pronunciation was horrific. And absolutely, like, you definitely learn this, like, German accent, even in school, even from the teachers. So it's like, if you mean that, then for sure. But there's another thing actually in Germany, which is called Denglish. So also like the word English, but with a D. Um, and it's actually being used if, like, for language where you use a lot of, like, where you speak German technically, but you use a lot of English words in it, but you just make them German, sort of, or like try to. So what do you mean with how do you even pronounce that now? By the way, like, how is it actually pronounced? Is it pronounced China or China? Like, how do you say that? What is the I don't know, the good way of saying it? I do not like to make friends because being vulnerable makes me paranoid that people will use it against me. It's happened enough. Are you happy with not making friends? Or because I mean, if that's your choice, you know, like, you do you. But just like, to me, it's really like this not being able to be vulnerable and not being able to like make proper friends is really like a nuisance. Like, I would really like proper friends. So what is your side on this, I guess? Jesus. Okay. Okay, so it's like Denglish. So you actually learn sort of like Chinese words as English words? So what are some of these words? You learn as like, or you have learned as like English vocabulary, but now you understand like, nope, that's actually not it. Hmm. Oh, so for you it's like a special, like a very especially vulnerable situation as a Laren because of your uh because you're vulnerable to them actually having the power to like hospitalize you. Well, that's really annoying. Really shitty power structure. Hmm. Do you know for sure they meant it in like a like they wanted to betray you, or do you think it could have also just been sort of like being scared and not understanding, so more like incompetence and not knowing um how to deal with something? Okay. That's really annoying. Really sorry for you. It's really hard when people don't, well, are not aware. How they like what power they have with this, and that it's well that it's serious and not a thing to make fun about. Hmm. Hmm. Sometimes it's really hard, I feel like, to get to know the right people, if that makes sense. Like that's something sort of like I guess like I learned it's like sometimes it can be very hard to get to know the right people. Sometimes it can be very hard to actually like get to know people in the right way. But it's just, yeah, communication makes it really hard sometimes, especially if you have very different experiences in life. I'm glad you only almost lost hope in humanity. And I mean, maybe you're gonna find somebody in this community at some point. And apart from that, I at least hope that you feel like you can trust me a little bit. Or as much trust as you give somebody on the internet. I feel like this might actually be a good starting point for the mental health check-in, people. So, how have you all been feeling since last Thursday? Like, we haven't seen each other for a week. How have you guys been doing? How's your mental health? Who wants to go first? I can also go first if you want to. My chair just cracked really loud. Okay, this tea is too hot. I'm at a 2 out of 10 battling depression. Oh, shit. Okay. Do you have any idea why it got worse? Or like how you can help yourself to get better? Is there like any plan with your like therapist or anything like that? Oh, you weren't able to sleep like at all, Ellie? Or like just like not good waking up the entire time and stuff like this? Hmm. Well, this is actually sort of like why I'm asking, because it's like you know beforehand, right, that December is gonna be tough. So is there any sort of like actionable plan you made with your therapist? How you I don't know, how to lessen the impact of it or something? For example, I don't know, like limiting exposure um on certain topics as much as you can, or um I don't know, maybe even like take extra meds or something like that. Like any type of like treatment plan which is taking into consideration that December is like especially hard. I pulled an all-nighter completely and went to work at 8. Okay. So that seems like you just decided to pull an all-nighter? But at the same time, you say probably hormonal. So how, like, was it a choice, or like, were you just like really not able to sleep? I see. Probably hormonal, you say. Ellie, have you tried melatonin? Like, probably you have. Like, it's one of the like, I don't know, the first things people usually try. We have a battle plan most of the time it works, but today is shite. Is there anything we can do for you, Esther Laren? Like talk about something, or I don't know, like maybe find solutions for like very specific things or something. Or do you just want to rest today and then try again tomorrow? Oh, okay. So it's more like you just accept that today is a shit day, shit days happen, and tomorrow is hopefully going to be a better one. Hi, Ariel Night Sky. Welcome, welcome. How you doing? We just started with the mental health check-ins, by the way, if you want to take part in it. Yeah. Oh, okay. I see. All right, Esther. I hope we can, I don't know, just by being here, maybe give you, I don't know, entertainment or some support. I'm really sorry that today's such a shit day. Maybe you can at least, you know, like reward yourself with I don't know, something nice, like some nice food or sweets, or I don't know, like a nice soft drink or something. If you have anything like this in mind. I feel like sometimes that's really, I don't know, something I feel like sometimes we like don't want to reward ourselves on a bad day because we're disappointed by ourselves. But I feel like just some days are really shit, and it's, I don't know, if we can make them less shit by having something to look forward to, you know, then it's like that can really help to just make a shitty day not as shitty. I'm gonna reward myself going to order food. It's something I normally never do. Nice. I'm glad. Oh, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the follow. How are you doing? We just started with the mental health check-in, so if you want to take part in it, just share how you're doing right now and how you've been doing in the last couple of days. So, Ellie, I go 5 milligrams of melatonin every evening, so other sleeping pills, but like 3 times a month I have nights that I just know is impossible. Oof. That sounds like a lot, by the way. Is that like a permanent solution? Like, is that the permanent solution to for sleep? Because I heard that with like sleeping pills as well. Like, I don't know. Like, wasn't it like us talking with like sleeping pills and getting addicted to them and stuff like this? Because like 5 milligrams of melatonin and sleeping pills seems like a lot. You're not too great, Ariel Night Sky? Aw. You want to talk about something or just sort of be here for the moment? Maybe get into it later. You can. I have too much sleep. Like last night, I slept like 15 hours. Yeah, that's a little much. Jeez. Mm. Actually, sleeping too long can also make your mental health suffer. So I don't know, like maybe there's a pattern of like sleeping too long and having like a really rough day. Like, do you recognize anything like this, Aistalerin? Or not really? Normally I sleep between 2 and 5 hours a night. Whoa, okay, that's a big difference. Do you know what happened like last night? Why it was like so different? It is a lot of pills, but most of them I can't stop. During summer I take melatonin often. Hmm. So at least sort of the melatonin you just usually like only take when it's necessary. But most of the pills you can't stop. Shite. So it was like with you, like I remember we talked about this, no? And it was how did that go again? With the pills you can't stop, like you already got that like checked out with like doctors and stuff like this, right? And like you tried stopping them a couple times, but the side effects were like so big that you and your doctor sort of agreed to like just keep using them, right? Was it like this? Do I remember correctly? Am I a psychologist or something? No, I'm not a psychologist. Yeah, I informed myself a lot. I'm obsessed with the topic of psychology and mental health. So I'm also not trying to be a psychologist here. Essentially, I'm like the middle step for people who either can't get a psychologist or therapy because they can't afford it, or there's just no possibility in their system to be able to do that. Or for people who are not ready yet to go to a psychologist. And then we, well, hopefully empower them to actually go and seek out professional help. So, yeah, this is a peer support stream, and yeah. So the information that I have, or the knowledge I have, is based on personal experience because I've experienced trauma, depression, anxiety, and all of that in my past. And right now I'm stopping therapy because I'm done with it, and um, I'm well. I'm looking into qualifications right now, so I might start something. I haven't decided yet what. I might actually study psychology. Um, but I might also like work towards becoming how do you say that in English? There is something called an experience worker, which is a qualification you can get if you've had experience with the topic like me, and then you get a bit of schooling how to help people by sort of like, well, relating to them with that experience essentially. Um, and yeah, I have like 2 tiny certificates on counseling and stress management. but nothing major or anything. So if you do need professional help, if you can get professional help, definitely seek out professional help. We support therapy highly, if it's possible. When I'm depressed, I will sleep more than 10 and up to 18 hours a night. Yeah. Yeah, that's a common thing. This is really like, in a weird way, did you know that there is, you essentially like, can sort of track if a person is getting depressed, or like if a depressive phase of somebody is starting, by essentially literally only tracking their location. Because depression is so close connected to being like outgoing, and not being outgoing in terms of like being an extrovert, but just doing stuff, like having initiative to do stuff. And the more initiative is lacking to do stuff, they usually like, it turns into like a downward spiral, and then people start becoming depressed. There's been some app I heard about which actually wants to use this knowledge to help people, like help warn them, sort of like, you're on the way to get depressed, like go out and do something now. But I haven't heard about this app like being finished or anything. So. But yeah, it was the same for me back then. I slept so long. And I actually noticed to like nowadays that I really like, I'm doing so much better when I stand up the first time I wake up. It's really, I don't know. I didn't test in programming. I'm pretty sure I failed, and I was so stressed. I have examination phobia, but it was never that bad, and my night before was pretty bad as well. Oh, that sucks. Really sorry for you, Aerial Night Sky. Do you have any way of like retaking the test or something? Basically, one of them is like you said, and the other one is addictive, and I'm not at a stage where I can say, guys, I think I'm addicted. I see. I've normally questionable quercetin. Oh, that's a medicine. Okay, that's sorry. I just thought it's a typo. To sleep, but that's because I have bipolar, and if I do not get enough sleep, I can go manic. Yeah. You have that one too, Ellie? Oh, you're medicine buddies. I'm not bipolar, but got misdiagnosed, and now I can't stop that antipsychotic. Oh. So that was the one. Yeah. Your voice is so calming, I feel better just listening to you. How cute is that? Thank you so much. I'm just gonna like write that in my diary. It's fine. Oh my god, that literally just made my day. I don't know. It's a dual med, lower doses. It's a sleep med, and above 150 milligrams, it's an antipsychotic. Ah, I see. Down to 75. Anything lower, and I lose my mind. Sorry for you, Ellie. So I've been getting recommended content across ADHD mental health, somehow across all platforms. The more I come across it, the more I feel I need to get this ADHD test done. It feels a bit weird. Me being lazy could be ADHD. Oh, definitely. Like, get that diagnosis done. Like, it's like, you know, if you don't, okay, actually, information. I hope you're still here. Because I took a little bit longer to like read through all the messages, right? But I just don't want to leave anybody on read. But just be aware of the fact that some jobs are actually not accessible to you anymore if you're diagnosed with any neurodivergence, for example, ADHD. So I think, for example, like pilots or something, is still like very, very strict on anything like that. Also, a quick side note to ADHD, because that was my case. I tried to get like an ADHD diagnosis, and I actually don't have ADHD, or probably don't. But I didn't get diagnosed at least, because they told me they believe it's actually trauma related and not ADHD, because a lot of the symptoms you get from neurodivergencies, all neurodivergencies, so not only ADHD, also autism and all of that, can be trauma induced as well. So if you have like, I don't know, like any like rough childhood type situation, that could also come out of that test. But they will definitely know. Like there's pointers they have, and it's always really good to get help to really get to know yourself. But apart from that, just if you say like you're just being lazy, laziness is also something which can like, as if that's like one of your like only symptoms, because I don't know, there is a misconception, I feel like, in society where everybody feels like the traits of, for example, ADHD or autism are literally only like you only have them if you have ADHD or autism. That is not true. Like ADHD traits and autistic traits, everybody can have them. But it's just sort of like if you have enough, because it's like a spectrum, right? Like you can have like a little bit and like a lot of these traits. So at some point we're sort of making the cutoff point and we're like, okay, this is ADHD enough, or like you're suffering enough under ADHD where like we need to help you, like society and the government like just needs to help you, like you need support with this. And below that you can have like traits of ADHD, and it's still very very interesting and very important for yourself to get to know how to like, well, handle yourself, like get to know yourself, and that's and how to like manage life with these traits, while you won't get like a official ADHD diagnosis. But it's really like everybody is like, there's not that neurotypical person, because it's all like we're all different. It's all a spectrum. So essentially, like getting a diagnosis can really help. But in essence, if you struggle with like doing tasks, being lazy, maybe procrastinating and stuff like this, there's a lot of things you can do to tackle this one specific issue, if it's just that, which can help you with that. Whereas if you have like a lot of other symptoms as well, it's like, I don't know, like just honestly, like getting the like ADHD meds can really help. But for some people also, like they have like side effects from those meds which are not making them worth it. But it's really good to get this checked out. And you know, laziness is one, but ChatGPT did say a lot, many other things point to ADHD as well. Don't know how much to believe in pseudo AI, but I'm a software engineer, so I guess that works for me, as I can focus for insane hours, literally. Yeah, my childhood was fucking weird. Yeah, so get that, like, honestly, just having, you know, like, if the mental health system and a diagnosis like this, or literally just therapy, is available for you, just get that checked out. Like, use that resource. It's like, if you struggle with anything like laziness, it's like really tough in our society, I feel like, to honestly get like good guidance on this, especially now with like capitalism, like everything is being capitalized on, and everybody has like a different opinion. There's a lot of like science and a lot of like, well, science which is people just like pretend like it's science, but it's really not. So it's really nice to just talk to a professional person who's informed properly and to give you some guidance into how you're gonna approach that topic, which is specifically adjusted to you. Yeah. But laziness and stuff like this and ADHD generally is a very interesting topic, and we could definitely also get more into detail about this here in the stream. because I actually do have a lot to say about that. I just don't want to leave anybody on read right now, so I'm just gonna read through the rest. But laziness is really... I don't believe in laziness. Laziness is like this... Laziness as a description is just... It's all shame. Like, it's based on shame. It's based on a system which is like shaming you for being a certain way. Where I feel like a lot of the time we just personally are not entirely aligned with our goals. And if we don't really believe in something, then that can also come across as lazy because we never get the motivation to do them because our body is sort of like in conflict about whether we actually want to do them or not. Especially, for example, with like all the goals like society puts on us. But definitely there is a point of ADHD where just getting ADHD medication will literally change your life. So, if your life, apart from the laziness, works out fine, yeah, it might not be ADHD to the point where you get the official diagnosis and actually medication for it. But they will still like help you. Like there's still a lot they can do and give you guidance on, even if you don't get diagnosed with like, okay, now like you need like heavy support from the system. Just putting that on there as well. So, and hi Yuguna Badger, welcome. Oh, how's everyone on this gift of another day we get to share? It was a roller coaster today. But let's get into this if we have some more time later. Yeah, I can, but I can't do the final test for the subject this time, and the exam I have to redo is in July. No. Is there, there's something you can actually, like, there's special conditions you can do if your test anxiety is bad enough. I've heard from some type of classmates where they had such bad exam anxiety that their exam was like shaped in a different way to like make things work. So it might be interesting to go to your like doctor, to your house doctor, regular doctor, and talk with them about if there's any possibilities. Like, I don't know much about that. I do have to say, like, there's only something I heard, like, back in the day. But it might be worth checking that out. And especially if you, like, can't do the final test because of this, just look into that maybe. Like, if it's worth the effort for you, I would try to see if there's some possibilities. Trauma is wild and very much affects the brain. Yep. And hi, Irfan. Welcome. And welcome, Osaso. How are you doing? I don't believe people with ADHD are lazy. They just have confusion which task they need to do first, so they're mentally stuck because they have too much stimuli from the outside. Got so confused why I was more tackle that. Huh. Weird. But yeah, like laziness is definitely a concept which is more, I don't know, about shame, I feel like. And it's not a very helpful concept, right? Because it doesn't really tell you what to do now. Like the implication of what to do with laziness is this really like sort of like toxic masculinity advice or like really old school advice. It's not only toxic masculinity, right? Like we have that like not depending on gender in our society, but this old school advice of like, yeah, just, you know, like get through it, just do it. You just have to get over yourself and whatever. And that is essentially like dismissing your feelings, dismissing your boundaries, overstepping your boundaries maybe. But it's definitely a not really well respectful way to
どこ見て歩いてんだ。一緒やるよ、払えよこれ。あの日からそっちからぶつかってきたんだろ。いいから財布出せよ。うわ、汚ねえぬいぐるみ。こいつ絶対金持ってねえ。ずっと探してる。だってはあの人のもんが汚ねえわけねえだろ。
ごめんなさい。前見てなくて。
ちゃんと前見て歩かなきゃ。お兄さんの服汚れちゃった。ママの財布からお金取ってきてよ。はあ？お兄さんって、おっさんの間違いだろ。なんだてめえ。触んな気持ち悪い。ああ、お前かよ。おい。大丈夫か？怪我ねえか？
平気。
そっか、よかった。早く家帰れよ。
あれ、もしかしてさっきのお兄ちゃんの猫。
手がかりは学ラン、左目の下のほくろ。そしてお前だ、ダルネコ。この辺に学ランの格好ねえから隣町まで探したこともあったけど、見つからないまま早いよね。あんな強えのに噂の一つもなし。会いてえな。やばくね？
やだ。
金出せよ、俺。警察呼ぶ？
ほっとこうよ。
あいつら、この前の。今度は弱そうなおっさん。てか、めんどくせえ。帰ろう。でも、あの人なら。おい。助けるに決まってる。おっさん一人に二人は出せよ。またお前かよ。いやー、助けてくれてありがとね。別に。記憶の中よりずっと気弱そうだけど。いやー、年下に助けられるとは面目ない。間違いない。あの人だ。会えた。俺、言わねえと。ダルネコ好きなのかも聞かなきゃ。そうだ、ダルネコ、返さなきゃ。好きです。間違ったー。もしかして、君、スケアリ。スキアンドはてめえだろ。やべ、かっけー。手出ちゃった。今のうちに逃げよっか。あとさ、俺も好きだよ。ダルネコ。嬉しいな。君みたいな若い子がね。ダルネコって今年で30周年なんだ。だからグッズ展開もここ最近ぐーっと増えてね。ダルネコストアに毎日通っててさ。でね、あれがそれでこれがあれであれがこれで。ああ、そっちっすか。さっきと別人すぎる。でも。てか、ダルネコストアに行く途中だった。お礼に何か買ってあげる。一緒に行こう。これはこれで、悪くねえ。かわいい。すいません。言いそびれてたんですけど。カクカクシカジカ。ほもほも。ああ、通りで似てると思った。気づいてたんですか？いやー、その助けた時も。会社からだ。ちょっと待っててね。お疲れ様です。今、打ち合わせ終わりました。この人、仕事中にダルネコグッズ買いに来てたのか。ごめんね。会社戻んなきゃ。 いえ、俺言いたかっただけなんで。この再会すら奇跡みたいなもんだし、これ以上若者は。
というわけで日を改めたいから連絡先教えて。ああ、嫌だったら無理にとは。
はい、お願いします。
やったー！
京志郎さん、かっけえ名前。ようやく名前わかった。
ホタルって書いてそのままホタルって読むの？かわいい！
かわいいのはあんただよ。
仕事終わったら連絡するねー。よっしゃー！
そういえば、なんで俺のこと助けてくれたのかも聞けばよかった。今度っていつ？返すの忘れてった。
まさか、あの時の子が探してくれてたなんて。視力悪いせいでいつもガン飛ばしてるって言われて、そういう奴ら殴ってるうちに周りからはすっかり不良認定。そんな俺の心の支えはただ一つ。
ちゃんと前見て歩かなきゃ。
買っちゃったラスイチ。
お兄さんの服汚れちゃった。
うるせえな。せっかく人がダル猫を堪能してる時に。
ごめんなさい。
助けなきゃ。はあ？お兄さんって、おっさんの間違いだろ。今見てもやっぱ似てるわ。次いつ会えっかな。ダル猫カフェに付き合ってほしすぎる。
すんません。ダル猫返しそびれたんで、来週どこか空いてませんか？
答え、来週。
絵文字つけた方が良かったか？すんません。ダル猫返しそびれました。来週どこか空いてますか？いや、さすがに砕けすぎか？清志郎さん社会人だし、仕事中にオタ活してたけど。爆速変身。このスピード、短文、断り一文の可能性大。いけない。会えない。いや、もうスタンプ1個じゃ。
俺も忘れてた。水曜日早く上がれるんだけど、放課後時間あるかな？ダルネコストアで待ち合わせしよう。
そこそこの長文だった。スタンプ絵文字付き。よっしゃ。ありがとうございます。と。俺もこのスタンプ買おう。水曜日、ダルネコストア前。
小樽くん、こんにちは。もしかして待たせちゃった？ごめんね。
いえ。楽しみすぎて、1時間前に来てただけです。
もしかしてこの子、俺のダルネコ拾ったのをきっかけに沼に落ちかけているのでは？何でも買ってあげるからね。俺、ここに週1くらいで通ってるんだ。小樽くんも来たことあった？
俺も週1で来てたんですけど、探しに。
あ、俺仕事中に来てたから、小樽くんは授業中だ。
サボりの常習犯。
てか週1で来てくれてたの？やっぱりダルネコに興味をお持ちで？大丈夫。男の子のファンもそこそこいるよ。怖くないよ。優しい界隈だよ。手始めに、このダルネコファンブックを読んでみてほしい。
どうも、誰よりもはしゃいでる。引きそびれてたんですけど、あの時、なんで俺のことを助けてくれたんですか？
似てたから。ダルネコに、助けなきゃって勝手に体が動いちゃったんだ。ごめん、つい。
俺が？似てるか？
似てるな。あ！このダルネコかわいい！
かわいい。小さいものに心惹かれる気持ち。愛らしさ。無邪気。子供っぽい。このダルネコかわいい。俺、京志郎さんに可愛いって思われてるってこと？昔の京志郎さんに憧れて髪も染めたし、身長だってかなり伸びたのに。それに、可愛いはあんたの方だろ。
見て、リール付きのパスケース。欲しいのなかった？やっぱりホタル君の世代だと10センチから15センチ抜いた方がいいかな。ちょっと前にルイヤーのポーチあったな。でも人気商品だったから再販されるかも。
日常的に使えるものがいいなって。買い物に集中しねえと。せっかく京志郎さんに買ってもらうなら、肌身離さず持ちで。
学生さんだし、文房具は？
じゃあ、シャーペンで。
俺もボールペン新調しよっかな。
あれきょうちゃん。いや、
のんちゃん。ついに、ダルネコ卿へ入信を。
姪っ子のプレゼントだっつの。
きょうちゃん、のんちゃん、
もしかして、ダルネコハラスメントされてた？怖かったね。もしもし、ポリスメン？
合意もらってます。事情を説明した。
ああ、この子ね。昨日言ってた話の。
この失礼な人はのぞみさん。
こら、
僕の同僚だよ。同僚、僕。
ついでに姪っ子のプレゼント見繕ってよ。
あ、そうだよな。いるよな。親しい女の人くらい。あの人、京志郎さんのこと好きなのか。まさか、好きや、嫌だ。でも、もしかして、俺の気持ちを伝えるには、再会が遅すぎた。また出なくていいよ。納品終わってるし。
だからこそ何か話あるのかも。はい、田中です。いつもお世話になっております。ありがとうございました。
ホタルくん、ちょっと待ってて。のんちゃん、代わって。横からすみません、柳です。いつもお世話になっております。はい。はい。なるほど。そういうことでしたら僕が責任を持って対応を代わります。ティッシュでよければ。
ありがとう。
当たり前だ。こんなミスばかりするバカ女、二度と関わらせるな。
では、ミスへの対策として、二度とお宅から仕事を受けないよう、社長に伝えときます。
きょうちゃん、言い過ぎ。
おい、ふざけんなよ。なんだって、もう一回言ってみろ。ミスへの対策として仕事を受けないんだ。ふざけるな。
うるさ。ミスといえばそもそも、御社が何度も指示書間違ってたじゃないですか。あんなの誰だってミス誘発しますよ。この前なんて発注数の桁間違ってましたよね。うちの超優秀な田中が気づいて事なきを得ましたよね。とりあえず、良かったですね。
汚い大人たち見せてごめんね。あいつに至っては正論と見せかけて煽り散らかしてるし。
いえ、かっけーって思ってます。
でも彼女とかいないみたいだよ。
なんですか急に。
優しいしかっこいいとこあるけど、たまにああなるから、社内ではいい人止まり。
それと、この通話は応対品質向上のために録音してますので。というわけで会社に戻らなきゃならなくて、ごめんね。大丈夫です。シャベン、どうです？
タクシー1台お願いします。場所が。
あとこれ、また開始そびれる前に。ありがとう。大切に持っていてくれて。おかえり。ダルネコもありがとね。おかげでホタルくんにまた会えた。そうだ。今俺と京次郎さんを繋いでんのは、このダルネコだけ。
キヨちゃん、タクシー呼んだ。社長にも連絡入れてくるね。
はーい。こいつを返しちまったら、もう、会えねえのかな。もう、後悔はしたくねえ。京志郎さん、好きです。俺と、付き合ってください。そっか、ありがとう。嬉しいな。でも、こんなおじさんになっててびっくりしたでしょ。ホタルくんはまだ高校生だし、同年代のいい子に絶対出会えるよ。だから、ごめんね。じゃあ、気をつけてね。ごめんねって、なんだよ。俺が大人だったら、違う返事だったのか。あの日から怖くて連絡をしていない。もちろん京志郎さんからも音沙汰はなく、俺の中で京志郎さんのイメージがあったように、あの人の中の俺も永遠に小学生のままなのかもしれない。
その漫画私も持ってる。面白いよね。ねえ、特にこの年下彼氏のリードっぷりが。大人っぽくていいよね。キャー！
今めっちゃ欲しいワード来たー。なるほど。つまり、奪いに来い。
ってこと？でもこの二人は年の差あってもお互い好きっぽい。俺と京志郎さんはもっと何かヒントが欲しい。
あの時、そうだよな。でもやっぱ、
ここ数日どうしたんですかね。しばらくそっとしといてやって。
なんだよ、同年代のいい子って、俺のこと好きだって言ってる子に向かってさ、本気なんだって思ったら、大人としてちゃんと断ってあげなきゃって。じゃあ OK して許される立場だったら、俺はどうしてた？
大丈夫。歩いて帰る。鍵もあるから。先寝てていい。いいえね。漫画読み漁って終電逃したとは、ついでに金もなくなった。あと歩道に絡まれないよう。
こんばんは。高校生だね。どうしてこんな時間に？
これが、フラグ回収ってやつか。はい。
すみません、おまわりさん。弟が何か。俺はそこのコンビニに行ってまして。ダメですよ、お兄さん。高校生一人にしちゃ。はい、気をつけます。なんで逃げるの？
逃げてないです。
なら止まって。ねえ、こんな時間に一人で何してるの？危ないよ。親は？今、ホタルくんがどこにいるか知ってるの？
うち放任主義なんで、別に今回が初めてじゃないですし。
京志郎さん探してた人か。俺のせいか。ごめん。気まずい。家はこの辺なの？歩いて帰れる？
今家にいるのはペーパードライバーの母さんだけなので、こっから、この辺まで行きます。隣の北ヶ丘町。
何時に着くと思ってるの？俺んちすぐそこだから今日は泊まっていきなさい。
泊まり？やったー！
お家の方に説明する。番号教えて。
やっぱりガキ扱いされてる。大丈夫です。歩いて帰ります。
じゃあ質問変えよっか。交番と俺んち、どっちがいい？
その質問はずるいですよ。
おいでませ、ホタルくん。
お邪魔します。もっとダルネコでどっちらかってるかと思う。
あるよ。
あった。店じゃん。
あれなんてシリアルナンバー入りでね。
すげえっすね。てかマジで泊まるの？振られてるし、振ってるのに。気まずー。
ご飯まだ？コンビニ行ってくるよ。
俺作ります。宿泊代の代わり。
ほんと？手料理なんて規制ぶり。
ハードル上げないでください。簡単なのしか作れないんで。
お見合い。ここずっとコンビニ頼りだったから生き返る。
朝ごはんも作ります。
天使？ところでこんな時間になるまで何してたの？
勉強。年の差恋愛漫画で。
大変だね、高校生って。
おかわりどうぞ。
ありがとう。ホタルくん、お風呂先にどうぞ。洗い物は俺がやるから。
はい。
これタオルと部屋着。俺のだから大きかったらごめんね。
いえ、どうも。脱衣所広い。
左がシャンプー、右がトリートメントね。
って言ってたな。ポチロー。こんなチャンスもう二度とないかもしれねえ。このくらい許されるだろう。
うっかり連れて帰ってしまった。ホタルママノリが良すぎる。話が早いタイプのオタクと同じ血だ。普通に会話はしてくれてるけど。俺ちゃんと京志郎さんやれてるかな。朝ごはん楽しみだな。
風呂どもでした。京志郎さん。京志郎さん？無防備。 じゃなくて、冷え、風、ダメ絶対。何かかけるもの。ダル猫柄のでっかいブランケットあった。よし。仕事忙しいって言ってたし、全然起きる気配ねえな。メガネ、壊れちゃいますよ。記憶の中の顔だ。メガネなしの顔のが印象強いし。京志郎さんにはガキのザレ言に聞こえたかもしんねえけどさ。俺、やっぱ、あんたが好きです。だから、迷惑かけないように、ちゃんと今日で諦めるから。これも、許してください。急に恥ずくなってきた。相手寝てんのによ。かっこ悪い。頭、冷やしてこよう。寒。でも落ち着いてきた。戻るか。
あ、
やべ。
おかえり。起きたらいなくなっててびっくりしちゃった。心配したんだからね。
すみません。
体冷えちゃったでしょ。歯磨いてベッドにお入り。先に寝ていいからね。あ、抱き枕いるよね。ふわふわとビーズタイプと固めがありますよ、お客様。俺のおすすめは、この新人のふわふわ。これさえあれば5分、いや3分でダル猫が待ってる夢の中へ。そしてこれは大手布団メーカーとコラボしたダル猫の掛け布団。夏は通気性よし、冬はあったかで1年をカバーしてくれるんだよ。冷えた体も温まるね。さあ、これでホタルくんの安眠は確約だ。
すっごい通常運転じゃん。
俺は風呂入ってリビングで寝るから、何かあったら声かけてね。おやすみ、ホタルくん。
京志郎さんも早く寝てください。明日平日ですよ。朝飯、ちゃんと作るんで起きてくださいね。
楽しみにしてるね。さっさとシャワって俺もダル猫と寝よう。おやすみ、ホタルくん。
落ち着け、落ち着け。落ち着けるわけねーだろう。何考えてんのあの人。でもな、ここまでしてもらって、今更俺がリビングでってのもあれだし。お前はいいよな、京志郎さんと毎日寝てさ。しかもすげえいい匂いなんだよな。くそ、寝れる気しねえ。キスされたホタル君に。夢？いや、夢でもダメだし生々しすぎるでしょうが。今俺いつも通りにできてたよな。大丈夫だったよな。いやー、最近の子はスキンシップが激しいな。もう拳でコミュニケーション取る時代は古いってか。なるほど。ホタル君の唇、柔らかかったな。そうじゃねえって。落ち着けよ俺。大人だろ。小さいガキがいじめられてたから助けただけ。ダル猫に似てるって下心はあったけど、今も大人として保護してるだけ。ホタル君は子供だから。だから、このドキドキは好きとかそんなんじゃ。それだ。このドキドキはびっくりしただけじゃねえ。中古時でドキドキしてさ、中学生かよ俺。これはライクであってラブじゃねえもんな。大人として今日のことはそっと胸に秘めておこう。明日はお米かな、パンかな、楽しみ。翌朝、一睡もできなかった。大丈夫っすか？光合成してる。ありがとう。インスタント引き出し。引き出し。あった。いいね、エプロン。チェー炎！パンにしました。コーヒーあるので。
何？綺麗に焼けた方くれるの？やだ、いい子すぎる。
止めてもらった身なので、冷めちゃいますよ。
はーい、いただきまーす。今日もうみゃい。朝は抜くか栄養補助ゼリーだし。
もうなんか、心配で毎日作りたくなってきた。
毎日こうであってほしい。
次があるって思ってもいいのか。誘うなら暇だ。これ一緒に行きませんか？
それは昨日から抽選の応募が始まった日本に住む全オタクがお世話になってるコラボカフェエンジェルカット×誰猫の案内サイト。
なんて？
待って興味ある？いいの？
俺もそろそろ推し猫を決めようかと。もらった本読みました。
任せなさい。俺に布教されて推しができなかった人はいない。
これがダルネコハラスメントってやつか。
でも推しは焦って決めるもんじゃないからね。ビビッときたら押すんだよ。
ビビッと。
辛い日も悲しい時も思い浮かべるだけで元気になれる子に出会えたらそれはもう推しだよ。トレカとかミニフォトをポケットに忍ばせればもう何も怖くないね。ちなみに俺は同担歓迎。
じゃあ俺の推しは京次郎さんってこと？忍ばせたいから写真くれって言ったらくれるのかな？
ごちそうさまでした。日にちどうしよう。第3希望まで出せるといいんだけど。
そういえば抽選がって言ってましたね。
コラボカフェ基本的には予約と時間制だからね。平日はフリーで入れる日もあるけど。
俺はどの日でも。平日でも祝日でも学校いつでもサボれま。
ほら！絶対祝日が条件で、この日はもしかしたら休日出勤かも。
俺はここと、あとこの日も予定入ってます。
じゃあ再来週だね。ここは？
大丈夫です。
よーし、できた。これで申し込みするね。
はい。これ倍率どのくらい？やべ、古血液がちまった。
転売や殺す。今回は対策してるっぽいけど。
しかもえげつないほど深い傷。
カフェの名前がエンジェルキャットだからさ、こんな美女のダル猫5億でも買うじゃん。その全額が公式に落ちるならね。
ああ、本当好きなんすね。子供の頃からですか？
ダル猫知ったのは子供の頃だね。
俺もダル猫じゃなかったけど、そういうキャラものだったかも。
高校生になって不良ぶって疲れてた時に、たまたまお店で見かけて、それこそビビッときちゃって。お前、お弁当箱にいた猫ちゃんじゃねえ。でも堂々と買う勇気なくて、こそこそ消しゴム買ったんだよ。
かわいい。
欲しいけど、店員さん女の人だ。はずいな。今思うと、楽しく過ごしてた記憶とか気持ちを思い出せるスイッチ代わりだったのかも。その次の週には店員さんと顔なじみになるレベルには買い物するように。
割とすぐに恥じらい捨てたんすね。それだけ思い入れあれば、ダル猫に似てたからって知らないガキ助けるか、この人は。未だに似てねえと思うけど。羨ましい。京次郎さんにこんなに思われてて。
あ、ホタルくんはそろそろ学校向かわないとね。ほら、こういう時だけ反抗してくるね。忘れ物ない？
はい。
駅まで送ろうか。
大丈夫です。京次郎さん寝不足みたいなんで、ゆっくりしててください。世話になりました。
またいつでも遊びに来てね。カフェも楽しみにしてる。当落分かったらすぐ連絡するね。
いつでもって言ってたよな。カフェだって俺と二人きりでも乗り気だし。絶対、いいデートにしてみせる。
コラボカフェ、イコールオタ活、イコール遊ぶところ、イコールホタルくんはダチ、イコールダチならセーフ。楽しみだな、ホタルくんと遊びに行くの。ねえ、ダル猫。
いや、それデートじゃん。
ダル猫のカフェに行くだけだよ。
キョウちゃんが真っ先に食いつくデートプランでしょ。
ただの推し活、ホタルくんも推し決めたいんだってさ。
そう言ったらキョウちゃん絶対断らないもんね。ホタルくんやる？さては何かあったわねなんて。
何か何も。
何かあったんだ。わお。
言わないよ。人の悩みをプリンで買うな。
ダメか。
とにかく、これは友達として遊びに行くって話であって、蛍くんだってそのつもりで誘ってくれたはずで。
私にはキョウちゃんがそう思い込みたいだけに見えるけどな。てか、もう付き合っちゃえば？
めっちゃ切り込んでくる。僕は大人で蛍くんは高校生。その辺わきまえてますんで。のんちゃんは弊社に犯罪者爆誕させたいの？
その高校生相手にめちゃくちゃ凹んでたのもう忘れたのこの人は。蛍くんが求めてるのは大人の対応じゃなくて、キョウちゃんの気持ちだと思うけどね。
今日のんちゃん当たり強くない？
もうアタックしてる奴がこんなんじゃ、蛍くんが不憫で小言くらい出るわよ。
大丈夫。営業で培ったこのコミュ力で、絶対いい方向に進めてみせる。
いつも切れて圧でねじ伏せてる。あれのどこがコミュ力なの？
デート。見積もりです。当初よりお安くできまして、内訳は、早まるなよく考えろ。蛍くんだって今時の高校生。たまたま SNS で見かけたんだよきっと。トレンド入ったり話題にはなってたもんね。あの子 SNS とか無縁では。解釈不一致。
うるさ。
じゃあ、やっぱ自ら調べたのかな。あらへえ。デートおすすめじゃなくて、
わざわざダルネコイベントで検索したの？
ただいまー、おかえり。それで、京志郎さんが断らないデートプランはこれだーって、ダルネコカフェ選んでくれたの？
ほな、デートやんけ！そりゃ断らんわな。オタク心が先行するから。実際クソ早口で喜んだ覚えあるわ。何？どこでそんなテク覚えてきたの、蛍くん。チューした翌日、普通に誘うんじゃ気まずいもんね。天才。そうじゃねえよ。痛い。感情が忙しい。せっかく友達と遊びに行くだけって気持ちに切り替えたのに、またぶり返してる。落ち着け。じゃないと。また意識しちゃう。
3日後、夕方。
こんばんは。
こんばんは。
飯食いました？
ゼリ
ゼリーって、もっと早く言ってくれたら朝ごはんから作ったのに。
ー。いい年した大人が風こじらせた挙句、高校生に看病させるとか字面だけでもだいぶやばいからね。
だから治んねんすよ、3日も。
すみません。
行くって言ったの俺なんで、京志郎さんは悪くないです。
いや、しんどいあまりつい来てほしいって言っちゃったけど、風邪うつす前に帰った方がいいよ。タクシー代出すから。
お断りします。
お断りされちゃった。
湯船で寝落ちした時の風長引かせてる人を放っておけないです。ゼリーを飯とか言ってるし。
返す言葉もないです。
てか、なんでそんなところで寝たんすか？危ねえし。
いや、実質蛍くんのせいです。
メッセージでも言いましたけど、週末のカフェはキャンセルします。
それまでには直すよ。
ダメです。
いや、今日蛍くん語気強い。当然か。
キャンセルっと。
せっかくのデートプランぶち壊しちゃったし。ごめんね。
なんで謝るんですか？
遊びに行けないの怒ってるのかなって。
ガキみたいなこと思ってないです。まあ、不摂生には怒ってるんで、謝罪は受け取りますけど。
辛辣。
俺は京志郎さんと一緒に入れたら、それでいいんで。まずは薬。の前に飯食わねえと。お粥なら食えますか？キッチン、借ります。
のんちゃん理論で言うと、これは蛍くんにとっておうちデート、看病のおまけ付き。ほら、幸せ、とか思っちゃうじゃん。もう、そんなん言われたら寝れなくない？俺もリビングに、
寝てください。
ごちそうさま。
アイスもありますよ。ハーゲンダッツ。
天才。
自分で食ってください。
ケチ。
熱のせいか、剣道がふわついてる。
あ、じゃあ、お裾分け。はい、
ふわついてる
あ、やべ。同じスプーンはダメだね。風邪移しちゃう。
しまった、反応遅れた。熱下がりきってないけど、落ち着いてきましたね。咳も。市販薬じゃ限界あるし、明日病院行ってくださいね。てか、病院行ってなかったことにビビってます。あの高熱で。
めんどくさい。明日には治ってるよ。
行かないならカフェの予約取り直しません。
鬼、悪魔。
それだけ元気なら病院行けるでしょ。
熱のせいかな。
俺今日泊まるんで、ソファー借ります。何かあったら起こしてください。
ホタルくん、頭がふわふわして、ダメだってわかってるのに、触ってほしいって思っちゃう。一緒に寝る？
風邪移したくないとか言ってたじゃないですか。
冗談だよ。でももうちょっと手貸してほしいな。冷たくて気持ちいい。
タオル濡らしてきます。
やだ。
やだって。
お願い。もう寝れそうなんだ。
ずるすぎる。
わーい。今日は本当にありがとね。
礼はいいんで、早く元気になってくださいよ。カフェ行くんでしょ。
うん。へへ。楽しみ。ホタルくんと行ける
の。寝た。赤ちゃんかよ。弱ってる京志郎さん。直球すぎ。心臓に悪い。無自覚とまでは言わねえけど、ちょっと天然だよな。立ち悪すぎる。そこも含めて好きだけど。あと、逃したの悔しい。今日の反省点。お預け食らった上に、こんなに焚きつけられたんだから、カフェデート、覚悟しといてくださいね。
ダルネコカフェ、リベンジ当日。ちょっとだけ早く着いちゃった。楽しみすぎて。
ウキウキしちゃって明日だっけ？ホタルくんに会えるもんね。私服楽しみだね。
違いますけど、久々の推し活が楽しみってことですけど。
京志郎さん。
でも私服は楽しみです。
京志郎さん。おはようございます。すみません。何度も呼びかけたんですけど。
制服はあんなに緩く着崩してるのに、私服はシャツインしてかっちりめなの。ウエストライン。ごめん。おはよう。今日暑いのに長袖なんだなって。
冷房効きすぎると無理なんで、いつでも長袖になれるようにしてます。
そういえば制服も長袖だったもんね。寒かったら言ってね。
逆にあんたは惜しげもなく腕を。あと、ピアス。やっぱまだつけてんだ。
昨日は涼しかったのにね。暑いの嫌。
もう全開しました？早く来れるくらいには元気そう。
おかげさまで。楽しみすぎてさ、早く来ちゃったんだ。
俺も、京志郎さんに会えるの楽しみにしてました。楽しみすぎて、1時間前に来てただけです。
もしかして、あの時もダルネコが楽しみだったんじゃなくて。
あれ？ホタルくんだ。偶然、買い物？
倉田、ダルネコのカフェに来た。
どちら様ですか？
同級生。
同級生。ホタルくんと同じ年の子。JK、若い、社交的そう。
ホタルくんダルネコ好きだったの？うちもマスコット持ってる。話す機会少なかったから知らなかったよ。最近まで欠席遅刻早退の常習犯だったし。
俺のせいです。すみません。
てかカフェ当たったんだ。うちも応募したけど全落ち。
推し活が楽しみってのももちろん本音だけど、俺だってホタルくんが一緒だから楽しみが何倍にもなったんだよ。でもこうやって年相応の女の子と並ばれると
年なの。いいな、なんて。大人げねえ。倉田さんだっけ？
ごめんなさい、長話しちゃって。
ダル猫好きなら大歓迎だよ。
キャー！ホタルくんのお兄さんも兄弟で同じ趣味いいな、仲良し。
お兄さん。
いい子そうだな。この子になら。そしたら、これ。カフェの整理券。せっかくだし、二人で行ってきて。
いいんですか？
二人で。それ、俺と倉田に言ってんのか？なんで？どうして？俺は京志郎さんと一緒にいたくて今日まで頑張って。ちょっと、
じゃあお言葉に甘えて。って言いたいけど、うちこの後友達と遊ぶ予定入れちゃってて。ガルネコー。
それは残念。ごめんね、おせっかいしちゃって。
お気持ちだけでも嬉しいです。それに、ここで人の運に頼ったら一生カフェの席をご用意されない呪いにかかるかも。
オタクの鏡。
ホタルくんのお兄さん優しいね。カフェ楽しんでね。じゃあまた学校で。
かわいい！はあ、もったいなくて食べられないよ。食べるけど、写真いっぱい撮ろう。めっちゃ不機嫌じゃない？どうしよう。やっぱ女の子いた方が良かったのかな。何か会話を。ホタルくん、得点見せっこしよう。裏面でもらったからまだ俺も見てないし。せーの。うわー！シークレット引いちゃった！
地引きおめでとう、おじさん。
全オタクが好きな白星だ。
わかる。ホログラムもいいよね。
来てよかった。
よかったですね。やべ、嬉しそうだったからつい声に。
お話ししてくれた。ホタルくん引いた子はダルネコのお友達の子でね。
かっこ悪い。
一時はどうなることかと思ったけど、楽しかったな。ホタルくんのお兄さんか。今頃ダメージが。だよね。やっぱりそう見えるよね。おじさんじゃないだけマシか。100歩譲って友達。ましてや恋人なんて。だから、ホタルくんは友達！そうだよ。そう決めたじゃん。もう、のんちゃんが変なこと言うから。別に、女の子相手にジェラってなんかないですし、会うの楽しみだったのはダルネコ布教できるからですし、今日、楽しかったと、スタンプも添えて。せっかくだし、二人で行ってきて。
俺なりに頑張ったんだけどな。もしかしたらって期待して勝手に舞い上がって。バカみたいだ。
To work together with your body, let's say. Just came to say hi, gotta sleep soon as I have to work tomorrow early morning. Oh, thank you so much for coming by and just saying hi. I'm glad. I'm so happy. That means a lot to me. Thank you. And I hope you have a beautiful night. I hope you get all the rest you need, Irfan. And it's very sweet of you that you come by real quick to say hi. I'm happy to see you. I have ADHD and struggle with people calling me lazy when they do not know how it is to struggle with a lot of fucking things. Yeah, it's just, for ADHD, a lot of the time you just need to, manage your life differently, just because your brain works differently, right? So... will they put ADD and ADHD under ADHD, creating a wide spectrum? Yeah, well, I don't know. I just know that, in the DSM-5. So the DSM-5 is the book of, well, essentially like mental health diagnosis and conditions with that. And the DSM-5 is, specifically, by the way, from our like Western world. But yeah, the DSM-5 has in the last couple of years actually changed quite a lot, and put like before, for example, there was a like the condition called like Asperger's, but that's not being used like this anymore. And now it's, well, yeah, just like autism and yeah. So we'll see if they also put like ADHD and like just all of the neurodivergencies in one. Because I don't know, like I feel like it might honestly be a good idea, because yeah, it's just a spectrum and you can have like so many like overlaps. I think it's really hard to track. Yeah, getting that checked looks to be the best choice. Thanks, I was a bit apprehensive about that, but taking has no harm. Well, only if you want to become a pilot, but yeah, if you're not a pilot, then like really just like getting more information is always good. And honestly, like if you're at the point, like if you let it get done right now, right, then it's like stuff like this, like depending on like how your life changes, it can get like really way more complicated and more exhausting, like quick. Like maybe like certain support systems fall apart or something, and then it's like just, it's always good to know yourself better and know how to like support yourself better as well. Because it has a lot to do with like how emotional regulation works, for example, and what you need for emotional regulation. And if you are neurodivergent, it's really like there's just not a lot of, well, a lot of, let's say, representation in society on how that like emotional regulation might work, or that energy management. By the way, I have a really important test coming up next month. You want to say something so I can focus more on that test? Because I'm scared a little bit. Aww. I feel like fear comes from somewhere, right? I don't think fear is useless. Fear can either be a great motivator, but at the same time, it can really show us a lot and give us a lot of information. So if you're scared about the test, I feel like I personally would actually try to find out, why are you scared about the test? Like, what are you scared about specifically? Because if there's, for example, like a specific topic you're scared about because you know less about that topic or something, like now that it's like only like in like next month, you still have like a lot of time to train that and gain confidence. And if it's, for example, about honestly like just, yeah, for example, like exam anxiety, and that you're just anxious about maybe failing the test and stuff like this, then it can really help to sort of take test exams. So from like, usually with like all universities or something, there's like old exams you can find online, and you can just trial exam and get some more, yeah, just some more confidence and actually being able to do them. And so I would not recommend to ignore the fear, but actually to work with it together, to see what it's telling you and sort of like try to build more confidence in specifically those skills. So I don't know if that was your wished response, but I think I don't know, I think that can give a lot of wisdom. I feel like sometimes we just want to not feel fear, but fear is literally just acknowledging that you feel not ready for something, right? And not feeling ready a month before without having learned is entirely normal. Like that's fine, right? So I believe that when you learn and do all you can, you've got nothing to fear. But good luck, Irfan. But we'll talk till then a couple times. Thank you for the follow and welcome. I'm don't get. I need to go through the messages. Jeez, I'm so far behind, guys. Give me a second. I don't want to leave anybody on read, but I'm still at like Uguna Badger update cute crate. Things are moving forward in my area toward mental health, including conversations with governors, committees, my state lawmakers. That's amazing. Honestly, that's really amazing. I'm glad. That's really cool. Keep me updated. I love that. Good news. The diagnosis is all about learning a tool to figure out what skills need to be worked on and goals. Yep. ADD and ADHD are already one thing? Ah, okay, yeah. Perfect. Oh, Irfan, you also have a 5-stream watch streak. I'm glad. Thank you for the follow. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is what I meant, actually. Sorry, I messed up the ADD short term. I see, as long as it does not involve meds, that's better. Well, you can always tell them you don't want to try meds. You can also tell them you want to try them, but if they're not really good, then you don't want to take them and they're not worth it for you. Like, you really have like free choice here. Like, they can't make you take meds or anything. So don't worry about that. Voldemort Gage. Hi, Justruna, welcome. Hello from Norway? Oh, hi. That's so cool. We already have some people from Norway, actually. Welcome. I'm gonna get to the how are you when I caught up. But thank you so much for asking. How are you, though? And hi, good morning, Nell. Oh, how are you doing today, Queen? Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day, too. I feel because I gave 4 times already and I didn't get my desired scores. The first time I was just 3 marks behind from my desired score. Then there were circumstances after that and my scores went down in the next 3 tests. Now this is the 5th time and I'm giving after a long break. I see. So it's definitely more, also like whatever the fuck is saying. It's more with like these having, like knowing that you weren't able to do it the last couple times and just being anxious that you're not going to be able to do it. Okay. Well, that is definitely a bit different. Because it's not like how you say this? There's a saying in German where it's like unwritten page or something, or like unwritten book. Which essentially means like you go in it without like without being biased in any way, but you definitely go in it with having like a certain anxiety. So I definitely still would try to sort of understand what the fear is telling you specifically. Because even if the fear is just really about like, what if I'm not going to be able to do it, and then like what happens then? Fear we haven't confronted can sometimes be way bigger than when we confront it. Because if there's some like sort of unknown part to the fear, it can just be blown out of proportion, because we're just sort of like, as humans, we have a lot of fear of like things we don't know, because we rather judge it too much than too little, right? Because overestimating fear is like less, well, probably is going to kill you less than like underestimating how much fear you should have from something. So I would definitely still look into that fear and really understand like why you're scared. And if you get to the point where it's, for example, like, if I fail this again, I won't be able to finish my studies, like I won't have a job, blah, 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 whatever. Like if it's going into this existential fear, then it can still help to think about it and just sort of see if you have any solution for that. Like, what would you do if you're not able to make it and stuff like this? because yeah, just having that fear, having that like extra pressure in the exam is definitely not going to help you to be able to just put your full energy in that, right? So, but if you have any friends, I would maybe, like, if you're one of those people who were like talking about it helps, and like from your sort of like past experience, I sort of like judge you as such a person where like it really helps to talk to others about it. Then just talk to your friends about it. Like share with them how you're like scared to not make it and stuff like this. And I don't know. I feel like just talking about it and being seen with this can like really help. Because I definitely understand that there's a lot of pressure on you to be able to get your scores. And I don't know, maybe you can even find some support in it. Like maybe you can, like, if you really feel like, damn, like when I learn alone, like I haven't been able to do it learning alone, right? Then it's essentially telling you that maybe it's interesting to get some help. Maybe it's interesting to, I don't know, like seek out some like classmate to learn with, or to ask some teacher to get extra learning material or something. To change something about the learning process now so that you will be able to get those scores. And I don't know, apart from this, just don't, just don't dismiss your fear. Don't dismiss your emotions in this. And we have a lot of streams. We can talk about it a lot too. So exactly on Monday. So if you need to talk about it longer, when you maybe don't need to sleep because you have like a morning shift, then we can talk about it on Monday a bit more in detail. But I think this is more like the sort of like actionable advice I can give you right now. Like talk to your friends about it, seek out extra help with the learning process and everything, to just set yourself up for success, essentially. Because then you at least know you tried everything, right? So if it were to go wrong, you at least can say like, hey, I like asked my teacher. I even trained with like other like students and all of this. And then there's at least less regret. I'm just saying, like, it's not like you shouldn't prep for failing, of course. But if you do everything you could, you did everything you could. And that's, I don't know, that's also something valuable in the end. Meds are not always free will. I mean, for some, they will die if they don't take their med, and that would be permanent in a mental ward. Oh, no, I just meant for Voldemort specifically. The meds are, like, nobody can force him to take them, right? Because he already has, like, a decent life, like, right now. And if it's only, like, with ADHD, there's nothing he has to fear around that. But yeah, definitely, some people cannot make the decision whether they want to take meds or not. Good night, Irfan. I'm so glad you were here. I hope talking about it will help. And we see each other on Monday. Bye-bye. Hi, Fluffy. Welcome. I don't take my meds for autism or CPSD. Are there meds for autism, by the way? I haven't heard of any medication for autism. So, because I actually, like, I had that talk, but sure, now I'll go for it. I guess I just really think we would have less mental health issues if we started living more like we are meant to. How do you mean we are meant to? Waffles or pancakes? Oh, I'm very specific about both. I have a favorite waffle and a favorite pancake. My favorite waffle was the waffle made from an uncle of mine, which is sort of like, it's heart shaped. So it's like 5 sort of like hearts making like a waffle. And I don't know, like something about his recipe was just really, really nice, and I really loved it. But since then, I wasn't able to replicate this recipe. So I haven't had these waffles in a while, and there's a lot of, I don't know, just not really nice waffle recipes out there, I feel like, where the texture is just like, I don't really like it. With pancakes, the best pancakes are the pancakes of my grandma, and that recipe I actually was able to replicate. So I honestly would have to say pancakes, because that's the recipe I have, like, I was able to replicate and I use more often, right? But both of those recipes are really, really tasty and really, really nice. I recently tried actually the Dutch way of making pancakes, where you also put like bacon and cheese and like onions on them, and then like the sort of like a sweet syrup. That's also really nice. In touch with nature, for example. Oh yeah. I feel like I'm not unhappy about the fact that we changed from living in caves to living in houses. Like, I do feel like that's nice. And our living standards too in like a lot of areas have been like going up radically since like back in the day, right? So like our medicine in a lot of ways is better, and especially like sort of like illness prevention is better than back then, because our hygiene is better. But definitely there's also a lot of ways where I just feel like we actually, I don't know, like are promoting stuff which isn't healthier than like in the old time, you know? And it's like, especially nature has a big influence on us. And I think that's something really important. And for example, sitting also has a really big influence on us. It's really unhealthy. Flowers have such a big influence on us, right? So there's a lot of things from like, I guess the old ways we can say, where we're like really influenced from it. And if we don't know it or take care of it, that's, I don't know, it's just like making life harder, right? Like, yeah. Only one waffle is a stroopwafel. Stroopwafels are really good too. Sure, you can take medication for autism. Mostly used are antipsychotics or SSRIs. Many get melatonin for the sleep problem. So how do these, so like with the melatonin for sleep problem, okay, I get it. But how do the antipsychotics and SSRIs help with autism? Like what parts of autism? Because it's not against like autism itself, right? It's because of some like against some symptoms from autism. So is there like what symptoms are the antipsychotics and SRIs targeting in that moment? Because actually I'm not aware of this. Like we had, like me and my psychologist actually had like the autism talk recently, like last week. No, this week. And there were no medications in the room with us. Like no talk about medications whatsoever. So I'm like, tell me more. I need to know. I don't have any knowledge about this. I love Dutch pancakes with bacon and cheese. Just sad bacon makes me have a bad day. Aww. Allergic to pork meat. Well, that's annoying. Well, there's a lot of like, there's actually some vegan pork at Albert Heijn now. Have you tried that? Maybe it tastes good. Serious, I want to warn people about melatonin supplements for sleep. It's good for a short period, but don't take it for a long period. How come? What is the side effect of taking, or why should you not take it for a long period? Risperidone is like a big one for many problems, and it's a typical antipsychotic. It helps with restlessness and brings you down. It's there to calm people down. I see. The body stops producing on its own. Ah, okay. So it's sort of like the argument of like really like maybe any supplement probably on the market. Yeah, it's definitely like I feel like I personally like I'm not sure about like about like any like medication, right? Like that's not my sort of like the topic I'm like really interested in. The like personal how I personally sort of like go about that is always that like any sort of medication, I just don't try to be dependent on it. So like with melatonin, it's like I just only use it when I have to, sort of like I always try to fix my problems sort of like at the root if I can. But yeah, that's so I don't know, I don't have any like actual medical advice on like anything related to medications or supplements. What do I do? About what? Oh, in here. Well, I'm not sure. You clicked the stream, right? It sort of depends what you need. But what we do here is we're doing like mental health check-ins. So we talk about how we've been doing, or specific topics, specific questions people come with. But it's just a general discussion room, I guess, for anything mental health related, really. Yeah. I'm not against vegans, but it's not for me. Oh, the vegan bacon. Oh, I see. Oh, I started liking vegetarian and vegan meat more than regular meat, actually. It's like there's this brand, it's called like Planted. It's like purple. So it's yeah, so the branding is purple and then like the big like white letters on it, like Planted. And it's really nice. It's really tasty. I can only recommend. It's like so juicy and really good. Well, I can only speak from my personal experience, but it really messed me up. Oh, so what happened for you? Whatever the fuck. I like, guys, the way so many of you have names where like when I say them, I feel so rude. It's, by the way, incredible. It's harder for the heart than the habituation. What? Ah, nice. You look cute, so I couldn't resist clicking. All right. Depending on lithium, and I'm okay with it because it gives me so much more joy in life. Okay. So, how do you use a lithium supplement? Like, what does it do for you specifically? We're really getting into the like supplement topic now, but let's go for it. Eat 2 kiwis before bed. It boosts melatonin production naturally. Damn, I didn't even know. I do have to say melatonin is like so much cheaper than eating 2 kiwis before bed, sadly. But kiwis are definitely really tasty. So I might try. Oh, well, Fluffy. But yeah, what did the melatonin do? Like, what happened by taking melatonin permanently? Because I didn't hear of any like cases yet of like melatonin side effects, so I would be really interested to know. And lithium is a mood stabilizer, so I have less swings towards depression or mania. I see. Sleep is really important, that's for sure. Like, having good sleep and good rest is honestly, I feel like, half of, I don't know, probably half of your health or something. Like, there's so many things which are related to sleep, and there's so many more things which, like, make, like, sort of, like, endanger, let's say, your sleep quality. Okay, what is habituation? Let me check. Oh, they just need like more and more? Yeah, okay. Mm. Oh damn, okay. Okay, so I guess I'm glad I'm not taking it the entire time. Just taking it when it's like really hard for me to fall asleep and I wasn't able to within like some hours. But yeah. I just do not get the vegetarisches Lager, the vegetarian butcher. You're not butchering anything. Well, I do have to say, like, I think the law the EU made, right? Like, they recently passed a law. Oh, somebody rang my bell. Wait. All right. Was just a postman? I don't know. I don't even know. So, hello, criminal. We're talking about supplements. We've been talking about melatonin more specifically, but also about lithium, and I don't know, we just sort of stumbled into the conversation. So you just like can't sleep without melatonin anymore? Damn, that sucks. Do you have like how long like have you not been taking it since then? Or like because I wonder if there's any point of like when it would come back, like if you like stop with it and wait for like a couple months that your body then sort of notices like, oh, I don't know if that ability is then coming back or something. But that's really annoying. Hmm. I see, okay, I see. Yeah. So at least it did stabilize. That's good news. I'm glad. Do yoga or spend your body in any work with which physically drains you, you will sleep automatically. Definitely, like doing physical exercise has a lot of really positive side effects. One of them is this. It's like, sadly, it doesn't work for like everybody with like all issues, right? But definitely like doing yoga or for example, even just like stretches before going to bed, like there's certain sort of like relaxing stretches which help you like get rid of tension in your muscles to then have like an easier time falling asleep. There's also this exercise where it's like when you do want to do like minimum work, there's this exercise where you like start from your toes and like you like really like tense your toes and like hold it a few seconds, then let go. Then your like lower legs, then your upper legs, then your like core, your arms, hands, and like sort of like one after the other, like all muscle groups of your body, you like tense for a few seconds and then let go. And to like really sort of settle your body. If your muscles are relaxed, then it's way easier to sleep. I mean, meditation is also a thing which helps a lot of people. Like, it's really like stuff like this. Like, I personally, I always hated to say it. But routine is honestly actually the most important part about sleep. It's like there's a few people really like just don't need to worry about routine. Like they just sleep like a baby, like after 5 minutes anywhere. But if you have a hard time falling asleep, like pick something which feels like good to you, which feels like you're like relaxing and stuff like this. And then make a routine out of it with the same time. And after a few months, it should become easier and easier to fall asleep. And even waking up, if you always wake up on the same day, at the same time, I mean, then it's really, easier and easier to wake up and feel awake as well. But it can take a lot of time, and it can also just need more for some people, right? Like there's people which have like really, really serious sleep problems where like not even the craziest sleeping meds are doing anything. So, yeah. Hello, can anxiety cause air hunger every day? What do you mean with air hunger? I'm just gonna look this up if it's something I don't know, or... Ah, air hunger. Ah, I see. It's... So, well, anxiety can cause a lot of things, right? Usually air hunger is more of a symptom I would connect to a panic attack. Do you have that right now, Tony Gamer? Like, do you want help with that right now? Or is it more of like a general question? All right. Bye-bye, Emerald Night Sky. See you. I was glad you were here. See you next time. General question? All right. So, well, anxiety can cause really a lot of things. Anxiety is one of the... like, let me actually look up the list because it's a lot. Like, anxiety can cause like almost anything. They also only list some of the symptoms. So, uneasy feeling, panic, danger, trouble sleeping, unable to stay calm and still, cold, sweaty or tingling hands or feet, trouble breathing, both shortness of breath and breathing faster than normal, increased heart rate, dry mouth, dizziness or feeling weak, can't stop thinking about a problem, unable to concentrate, strong fear of objects or places. But even they, like, this is the University of... it said in the link before, but now it just says the short form. Jeez. University of California. But yeah, even they say anxiety can cause several symptoms. But these are sort of the most common ones. So anxiety can cause a lot of things. And it's sort of like this like shortness of breath is, yeah, one of them. So definitely. If you have like some of the other symptoms as well, have you checked any of them like out with your doctor? Or how's doctor? sleeping outdoors does the trick for you. Okay. You're having the flu right now? Oh, I hope you get well soon, Tony Gamer. You always drink squash or juice? Do you mix it with water? Or do you just drink it pure? Okay, so water on its own, only on its own. But with juice and squash, it's fine. I actually drink water nearly the entire day. Apart from water, I only drink like tea, and we always have like some type of soft drink, but we usually only drink like a glass or something per day. I don't know, I got like brought up with like usually only drinking water actually. Yeah. Definitely. Like, did you coming back to the question I sort of asked, like, did you ever get that checked out, your anxiety? Like, are you in treatment for anxiety? Or Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, to me, water is not disgusting, actually. It's like every water actually has a flavor, and every water tastes different. That's why every time, like, I get so used to the water I have at home, and every time I go somewhere else, the water tastes different. And then it actually tastes a little bit disgusting. But after a few days, you just sort of get used to it. But so are you in any type of treatment for your anxiety, or did you get your anxiety checked out somewhere? Or is the question more coming from I have air hunger and I don't know where it's coming from, and ChatGPT told me it might be anxiety? Because yeah, sort of like Fluffy, like context matters here. The flu coming. Oh no, she said I could have asthma. I'm having to do flow test for 2 times a day for 2 weeks. Hmm. Okay. Definitely. It's really good that you are in diagnostics. So yeah, like it can come from anxiety, but if you have it really like, do you have it every day, like the entire day, or do you have it at some times on your day? And did it start sudden, or Because yeah, I feel like it's probably more of like a body problem, because anxiety is really like fear of something, right? So then like every time you have this like air hunger, you would be sort of in panic, like fearing something. So if there's no emotional attachment like this, I definitely agree with Fluffy that it's probably a body problem. If there is an emotional attachment like this, it could still be a body problem, because sometimes, so for example, with like a panic attack, usually we get like, so there's like certain differences, but a panic attack is usually sort of also connected to the fact that we get scared of the symptoms themselves. So it's not necessarily meaning that it's not a body problem, but it can also just mean that it can... She ain't really worried about me because I can speak full sentences. Okay. But yeah. But if you're not like, so if you're not scared of have like anything like any emotional combination with this, let's say, when you have this air hunger, I don't think it's from anxiety probably. Yeah, that's definitely more the emotional level of a panic attack. Sorry for you, Asta. But yeah, panic attacks are really, really scary. And usually, like, if you have panic attacks, you learn, because they're like so scary and it's so hard to get out of them, actually, you learn skills to calm yourself down while you have them. I mean, anxiety can, of course, like start from like a traumatic experience, like sort of suddenly. And then also be daily if it's something which has to do with your daily life, right? She thinks it's because the flu was in my body causing breathing problems, then 2 months later, push. Yeah. But I think, I mean, if you feel like or worried about that it could be anxiety or because of anxiety, like we from here, right, like from the internet, like we don't see you, we don't know the entire history, we only have a very small picture of your situation. But it's always valid, and your doctor will always, like, probably always welcome any questions like this. So the next time you see her, you can also just like definitely like feel empowered to ask her like if it can have something to do with anxiety if you're worried about this. Because she is the person, like she's seeing you, right? Like she has hopefully like all the context and the entire history of that, and then she can probably like instantly reassure you that it has nothing to do with that, or even be like, okay, that could actually be a thing. Like, why do you think that? And then it helps you to get a better diagnostic, because maybe it has to do with something she, I don't know, like with some event you went through or something she doesn't know about, and where she needs the context of it. Unfortunately, with GPs, you don't see the same GP. Oh. Oh. Okay. Well, for us, actually, like... okay, that's a bit annoying, definitely. But you can surely also ask the next GP. Like, they will have, like, some type of file, right? So... like, you can always ask, still. But, like, why did you come to think of it that it might be anxiety? Hmm? Wow. That's really tough, Esther. I mean, you can't do anything about that, right? Like, you suffered the entire day. I wish there would be something like we can do to help you with that. But I hope it's like rare that you have panic attacks for so long, at least. Okay, I see. Last June. So did it start sort of like after June? Or like in that sort of area? But you were having 6 police officers and all my friends looking for me. Live in a harbor city, so I understand their fear. Oh, no, definitely it's like not optimal, right? But it's still something you sadly can't fix, right? I mean, maybe there's a way you can, I don't know, like give them a key to your apartment, but at the same time you said you didn't really trust people that much, so that's probably more anxiety inducing for you, 𝔹𝕃ℂ𝔻. My breathing issue started as over, and they're on it now. Well, you can always get more anxiety from having breathing issues like this, right? So your anxiety and these breathing issues might not be like your anxiety levels and these breathing issues might not be unrelated, even though your breathing issues might not come from anxiety. So it still can be the case that because of these breathing issues, you feel more anxious. Because especially if it's like shallow breathing and there's like more shortness of breath, right? It definitely can make you feel like uneasy and restless. The breathing has eased a bit while having this flu. Okay. Well, I mean, sometimes, allegedly, sometimes it is the case that because we get like that we have like that we are ill with something our body's like not catching, but the moment we get sick, our body, because like the white blood cells, right, are like through the roof because our body's trying to fix things and like heal ourselves, it's like that we then also catch that other illness we haven't been catching before. So that's also a thing. So there's like a lot of different possibilities here. But essentially, as long as you're in diagnostics and your doctor is like is interested in like finding the reason and you're now doing these breathing tests, I think that's already a very good way. But I still feel like if you are, because anxiety and what anxiety can do, right, and what like bodily symptoms we get from especially mental health issues is very, very individual. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you yourself, like, even though we are saying like seems rather unlikely, if you yourself are really feeling like, I don't know, I just got that gut feeling that this could be exactly like have to do something with it, it's like you have the most informations about yourself, right? Like, we don't have as many informations, also not your GP has as many informations. And so if you really have that gut feeling, bring it up with your GP. Just the next time you see them, tell them like you were sort of thinking about this and you thought it might have to do with the anxiety, and then tell them your reasoning. And I think that's honestly the best way, because I don't want to be here and be like, no, like, definitely, for sure not, like, you don't know, and like overrule your gut feeling, okay? Because even though like possibility is slim, maybe, you might just be that 1 in a million person. Who knows, right? So, like, if it's something, she's testing me for asthma. Yeah, like if it's something where you feel like it's probably something else, you can always keep it in the back of your mind. And if like nothing comes out of this, like you can always still bring it up, right? But I feel like with something like this, there's no harm in telling it to your GP, right? Like, even if it's only a side note they like can have on their mind if they try to find out what's the reason. That's a good idea. Let's actually all do that. We've been here for 2 hours already. I really like doing this stretch here. Like I was in the gym. Oh. My body's protesting, it wants to sleep. I mean, you can just do a little bit, you know? Just start with something small. You can really just start with doing this for your, you know, for your ankles. Wait, that's not your... How do you... For your hands. Let's just say hands, whatever. If you think a nap will feel good and help you, then definitely do so. Wrists, yes, perfect. Maybe you can air out your room a little bit. Because I imagine when you like have been sleeping for so long, your bedroom is maybe a little bit small, that the air is probably quite shit. So if you can muster up the energy, just quickly open the window, get some new air inside. But I hope you can find some rest, and I mean, I hope it's gonna get better with your day. A lot of love, Esther Laren. And thank you for the follow and welcome. How are you doing, chatter? You normally only drink 750 milliliters a day? Oh. Well, go drink something now. Hydrate. Your body needs a lot of hydration. Ooh. Oh my god. Thank you so much for the 100 bits. And welcome. Thank you so much. The support is highly appreciated. Very cozy vibes here, I love it. I'm glad. So we're at the moment just doing like a mental health check-in. So if you want to take part in it, you're very much invited to. It's just essentially about like how you're doing today, or in the last couple days. How is life? And the other thing we're doing right now is actually a little bit of stretching. So if you might have been sitting at the PC for a while, or not having hydrated, or maybe lacking nutrition because you haven't eaten, then this is your reminder to do something good for your body. I definitely have while having this nasty flu. Alright, alright. Catch you soon, now or for a bath. Oh, that's really good. Really get those, like, how do you say that? The only thing I know is like moist air. Like, it's sort of like a steam bath. That's actually really, really good for getting better. I'm glad you're doing that. So, to get rid of the sweats. Oh wait, you're doing a cold bath then? Well, so much for the steam. Or it does like a hot bath. Oh no, a hot bath's helping against sweats. I didn't even know. But yeah, it's also really good with the steam for your like lung and airways. So really try to breathe in deep if you can. But get well soon, Tony Gamer. It was a pleasure to have you here. If you want, join our Discord. And then hopefully see you again soon. Maybe later or on Monday next time. You have the holiday blues, chatter? This year I've related to the Grinch more than I have Santa Claus. Aw. How come? One last time before you go, another stretch? Alright. This time I'm actually gonna stand up to stretch a little bit. Oh my god! The timing, bro! No way! So, we were doing stretches, okay? No. This is not this, like, trust me, this is not this kind of stream, okay? Is this embarrassing? Oh, hello everybody. Yeah, so... Welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. So many people, by the way. Holy frick! Like what? So welcome everybody, and Puzzlehead Talks. Thank you so much for the gift sub to Tana Grace, and welcome. What have you been doing? What have you been up to? Jesus, I still can't believe this is how this starts. Oh. Lost your dad in January after losing my mom July of last year. I'm okay, just difficult. So this is your first holidays alone then, or like without your family? I bet it's difficult. I'm really sorry. Do you have any friends you can sort of like share Christmas with to not be alone? Are those powers in the background? Yes. All of them. Is this the ostrich stream? I'm hiding their heads in the sand to hide. Yeah. This is secret community though, so you know. You're really flexible. Well, I try to be, I guess. Tana wants to know if you also like freak folk music like she does. That seems like a very specific genre. I'm not sure if I know what type of music we're talking about within that genre. But I don't know, like, send me your playlist, Tana. I will look into it. Seems like I missed something, yeah. Big as raid. My viewers lie, I do not believe anything they say. Oh, well, there's no shade in, like, freak folk music, right? So what have you guys been doing? Oh, you have to run already? Alright. Do whatever is healthy for you. Thank you so much for the support. I will keep watch. I don't know. I will take care of your community to the best of my ability. But thank you so much. So, yeah. So, hi everybody. Well, like, yeah, I'm great. My real name is Leah, and I live in the Netherlands. Not that that matters, but anyways. I actually so I'm German. I moved a couple years to the Netherlands. Now I live in the Netherlands. And we're doing mental health streams. We do them twice a week, where we just essentially like we talk about whatever needs to be talked about. Really, like we do like normal mental health check-ins where you just sort of share how you've been doing today, how you've been doing the last couple of days. But of course, we also talk about any topic which seems necessary in that moment. So, for example, if anybody is struggling with anxiety or depression, or like sleeping problems, or anything like that, really, or maybe just considering if they want to like get like an ADHD or autism diagnosis, and just I don't know, want some second opinion on that, then also that. So. If you look for anybody to talk to about any vulnerable topics or feelings, then yeah, this is what we do here. This is the stream here. And we really try to support everybody who needs support. Because as we all know, in our society, there's still a lot of people who can't afford professional healthcare, mental health care. Or who are just on waiting lists for like 6 months or something and still have a long time to go until they can see a therapist. Or who just need a little bit of extra support since therapy is only a couple times a month. Or maybe you just need some guidance to actually do the step and get professional therapy. Or you just need some guidance with something very specific. So yeah, just a lot of different use cases, but this is our stream. I am not a professional psychologist. I do this from the standpoint of somebody who has, well, experienced anxiety, depression, childhood trauma, really like probably anything you can think of myself, and now actually stopping therapy and being mentally stable and sort of wanting to help others. And yeah, so sometimes we game and play League, but that's really rare. So usually we really just talk about mental health, or sometimes even supplements and medications and our experience with them. But yeah, essentially we're just here for each other with whatever you need. Yeah. So welcome everybody. And is there anybody who wants to take part in a mental health check-in? You don't need to suffer, by the way. You can also just, if you had a great day so far and have something really good to share, some good news, that's also really, really welcome. And I don't know, we're always happy to hear of success. So yeah, anybody wants to take part in a mental health check-in? I can also go first if you guys want to. If you guys don't trust me yet, I understand. Yes, Fluffy, absolutely. I'm tiny bit overwhelmed, to say the least. But yeah. So before today, we had the topics of we were going into supplements for a hot minute, and about like melatonin supplements and also sleeping medication, how you can get addicted to them. About depression, and apart from that, we're more so been in the general situation of talking about general mental health topics, and going into each and everyone's mental health check-in a little bit. We talked about exam anxiety actually as well. Don't worry, it's just the equivalent of 22 plus soccer teams. Yeah. Don't worry, it's just the whole like ballroom full of people. So I feel like I'm gonna fill the silence here. And just start with the mental health check-in myself. Because I've been pushing that so far, because we had like so many other like topics to talk about. So for me, today was an eventful day already. I started with, well, not having the best of sleep, but actually already better. But I had a lot of doctor's appointments recently. So yesterday I was at the dentist because they had to fix up my like night guard for sleeping. And then today I was at the doctor to actually get my chronic headache checked out, because I have chronic headache. And they did some tests on my spine, where they like, well, I don't know, like essentially they just say like, oh, don't worry, it's just like a tiny metal hammer, and then they just hammer on your spine and you're like, and this should be fine, sure. And yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna have an appointment with the radiology to get my spine properly checked out. And so a lot going on really. But all in all, it was a very, actually a very successful doctor's appointment. I wouldn't have thought about that. Because usually actually, I don't know, like, I don't know if anybody is from the Netherlands, but Dutch doctors are not as, I feel like not as motivated to actually spend resources on you, or at least haven't been for me. Like the moment I signed up for therapy, it was just like, oh yeah, your chronic headache, definitely just because of therapy. Like you're already going on therapy, then like we don't need to do anything else. And so I switched doctors, and now having this doctor just be like, okay, like when do you want the appointment, like today or tomorrow, was really pleasant, like really nice. So I'm really happy, and I'm happy to get some more, well, clarification to see if there's anything going on. Okay, so I have a question. A cute girl has been messaging me. She trauma dumped her past, where previous partners have treated her like dirt. This made me not want to talk to her anymore because I think she has too much baggage. Am I an asshole? Ooh, okay. Am I an asshole? Questions are very interesting. So the thing is, what is the other option here, right? Like, let's say, like, let's just behave like, okay, like you are an asshole. So what would change that? Like you like start talking to her again, even though you don't want to? Like that's not really a good solution to this topic, right? So I'm always like really for people doing what they feel like even if the Like, if you don't like somebody for the most stupid reason possible, as long as you don't like them, I don't think there's a point in like forcing yourself to still have contact to them. Because I feel like everybody deserves a person which likes them, right? And I feel like with a lot of people, it's just a type of like matching. And so I don't think we actually need to, I don't think we need to talk about who's to blame or who was wrong here. Because it's entirely fine to not like somebody for whatever reason. And it's a thing where if it turns into a pattern, and it turns into a pattern where it's like, I don't know, like harmful to like society as a whole, or for example, harmful to you because you can't make meaningful connections, then this is definitely something to consider, and then the pattern needs to change, right? But if this is not a pattern or anything where, I don't know, you personally have like motivation to change something about, then it's really like, if you like just being like, I don't have a, like, I shouldn't feel this way, or I don't know, like there's no point of me feeling this way, or it's wrong of me to feel this way, it's not going to change your feelings. So if you don't want to talk to her anymore, don't talk to her anymore. And I guess what you can do is, and that's more the question than I guess if that's like a thing you should talk about or not, because people also sort of like deserve feedback, right? But for feedback, it's always important to know, like, okay, what is a thing which is only you related, and what is a thing where actually like she should change something. And so I feel like this is she trauma dumping on you is something where, like, well, with feedback, it's also like always like, I feel like a feedback makes the most sense if there's still something to be fixed. If there's nothing to be fixed because you don't give a fuck about it anymore, you know, and you're not interested in it, then there's also not really a point for feedback. Because feedback, you can like, people can take on feedback the easiest if there's like a distinct motivation connected to it. So I see. So you sort of like, well, feel guilty because you're like, I don't know, like I don't want to be mean to somebody for having like a bad experience. But yeah, in that regard, I absolutely agree with Jules that like everybody has the right to not be able to deal with something. Like even here in stream, right? Like it's really like everybody needs to protect their mental health. And especially if it's a person where you feel like they're not good for your mental health, like the way you would treat them also gets lower. Like if you don't have space for them, like the possibility of just sort of like looking past that and just, let's say like you ignore your feelings here and you still have contact to her, it would honestly probably maybe make you like a bad friend to her, because you wouldn't have as much space to accompany like this emotional, well, this emotional burden maybe coming with such conversations. So it's really something where I just feel like, just because of how the situation is, maybe you can find some, you know, find some peace that there's not really like this easy option of like, oh yeah, you just ignore that and you like are still like a really great friend to her or something. Like, because you feel that way, you probably won't. And so it's better for the both of you if you don't ignore that, but actually like do take distance. Because I feel like distance in that moment is, it's not necessarily bad, right? Like it doesn't, like, yeah, like it's not pleasant for her to like have talked about all of this stuff and then be left alone, for sure. Like that sucks. At the same time, I guess it sucks more to then get closer and closer to know somebody and you just feel every time you talk about something, there's like sort of like a hesitation or resistance from the other person. Because especially people who have been like emotionally abused or something like this are usually like very attuned to, or like hyper aware of other people's emotions. So just, I don't know. I don't think you should feel guilty in a way like I should have done that. Like you don't really, like you're not a professional in that area, right? Like you're not a therapist, and that's fine. And the only other thing I do want to point out is that for you personally, maybe it could be interesting to explore why there's such a resistance. And if that resistance is actually popping up in other aspects of your life. So with that example sort of in mind, thinking about your friendships with other people, and then sort of feeling and considering like, am I able to be there for my friends? Like, do my friends, are they able to like talk openly to me about problems with them? Or am I actually not really emotionally available to anybody around me? You know? So I really think it's way, way less about the question of like, who's the asshole or like who shouldn't have done whatever. But it's really like, this is the situation, and now we can like learn from whatever information there is in that situation. But yeah, like trying to make something work, even though you don't feel like making that work, is not going to be beneficial to anybody. So it's, I guess, yeah, interesting like where your guilt is coming from, you know? And hi, Fireshark. Yeah, I got a huge rate, actually. It's really insane. I'm still a bit like, okay. A bit nervous about like all these people. I'm just laughing through the nervousness and like hope that works. And hi, Zigibertus, welcome. How you doing? But yeah. Like, it's, I don't know, it's like always fine to make any type of decision for yourself if it's not, like, this is like a good, I don't know, like, this is not like personally harming people, right? Like, sort of taking your personal way and just not having to do with each other anymore is, that's how it's going to go with like most people we meet, just because it's not a good match, you know? So yeah, I feel like, I don't know, like, it's interesting where the guilt is coming from, because it's might show you something about yourself you haven't known so far, you know? Because guilt can come from like a lot of different places. Like some people feel guilty when they don't talk to people with mental issues because they have the standards that would be good, and that would be like a good person's thing to do, right? And we're still getting to know each other, and it kind of came out of the blue. Yeah. I mean, if you want, we can sort of like explore that in more detail right away. Because if you're, for example, like if you're in general like more well, no. So I think this resistance that you feel here, apparently it's sort of like a hard resistance because you don't feel like talking to her at all anymore. It's like, do you know where that is coming from? Like, are you aware of where it's coming from? Hmm. Yeah. Sometimes this resistance and this type of guilt can sort of like link with each other in a way where, because we feel we're not the right person and we can't handle that, we have like a huge resistance to do that, because we just really believe that we can't. But at the same time, we would like to be such a person and see it as sort of like a thing we lack, and then there's a lot of guilt because we have the standard that we should be able to handle that or should do that or something, but we don't fulfill it. But in a weird way, I think this guilt is something where, like, actually a lot of people, especially in the mental health sector, need to learn that just, yeah, sacrificing your own boundaries, your own energy, your own health for other people is not the way to go. And because, you know, like in that sector, like, you will at some point probably talk to a person who's gonna use suicide as sort of like a manipulation strategy, and or not even as a manipulation strategy, because that's sort of the worst case scenario. But it can really also just be like that you have a patient where you don't know if you can save them. And even if you're a psychologist, you need to draw the line between the doing your best and taking on responsibility for another person's life. Because after all, we're not responsible for other people's lives. We can help them, and helping is really good. And we should try to help people. But if it's something where you just like personally just feel like this is like nothing I can do anything, I don't have the capacity for this, and I'm overwhelmed by the situation I'm being put in, and I don't want to be put in that situation again because I'm like scared to do something wrong maybe, and that's why I don't want to talk to them anymore, then the best thing we can honestly do is just tell them that this is overwhelming to us because we're not a professional and we don't know how to help them. And we think they need professional help, you know? You need to stretch. Yeah, the thing is, though, I stretched already 2 times in the last, I don't know, 10 minutes? But welcome, followers, by the way. You know what I mean? Glory boy? And thank you for the follow on this. What do you do if you struggle with finding your community friends? In which way do you struggle? Really depends. Because sometimes we just don't put ourselves, like we don't expose ourselves to people from the right community. And that's why we struggle to find people from the right community, because we expose ourselves to communities we don't want to be a part of, actually. It's like this situation sort of like going to like a club to make friends, but wanting friends who, I don't know, are into reading books and gaming, for example, you know? It's like, there are some people there, sure, but you probably have a higher chance if you go to a book club or something. So sometimes we just really need to adjust our strategy in finding our community and friends. But in what way we need to adjust our strategy sort of depends in where you struggle. Yeah. But I feel like there's a lot of ways sometimes where we can make that happen. But I can only sort of cite this one. I was watching a interview of Brennan Lee Mulligan, where a quote was mentioned, and I don't know from who that quote was. I just know it was in that interview. But the quote was, "Community comes at the cost of comfort," and I really couldn't agree more. Like, to find your community and friends, you need to expose yourself to new people. You need to put the effort in of getting to know new people. And especially for introverts, that can be quite challenging. What if you always feel alone, even with friends and partner? Okay. So this is a different problem, I would say, or a different struggle. Because if you feel alone, even with friends and partner, then it's more about how you connect to them and your connection with people around you that is lacking. And the thing you essentially do, or I guess how I would approach it personally, would be to find out where this is coming from specifically. So if it's like the most common sort of like cause is that you just don't share enough, and there's no like the connection we have is sort of shallow and not really like about the topics you're interested in, and you don't share what you struggle with, they don't share what they struggle with, and it's just sort of like on that level of like, I don't know, like seeing a neighbor in the supermarket and being like, how are you? Good. All right, that's it. And then maybe like, I don't know, after a couple of minutes being like, yeah, let's do something. And then nobody ever follows up on that because it's just sort of like a polite phrase and that's it. So the thing is really that just if you feel alone around other people, like you either have the wrong people around you, or, and if this is with everybody, right? It's probably a pattern which has to do with your way of connecting to people. Like if you're never vulnerable with people around you, you don't trust anybody around you, and that's why you don't share anything. Or if you, for example, like overstep your own boundaries and never, you know, like never take up your space or never share your boundaries, so other people can't respect them because they don't even know. Then this is a thing which will drive disconnection between you and other people. And it's something which is scary at the beginning to change, for sure. But it's something you can train. And I don't know, like if you have understanding people around you, you can even just actually talk to them and share how you feel lonely even in their presence, and sort of try to get some help fixing that issue and working on a solution on that. Welcome, Naradim, by the way. For me, alone and lonely is not the same. Okay, how do you define it? Or like in that context specifically? Because like I feel like alone and lonely can mean different things in different contexts. Jules. Maybe you're trying to fit to people that doesn't replicate your efforts. That can also be a thing. But usually it's more like with every sort of, that's honestly like the thing I learned about therapy. Like if there's any type of pattern in your life you really hate, it can be really whatever. Like if you, I don't know, don't have meaningful friendships, or specifically like that you feel alone with friends and partner and you feel isolated. Like if this is a pattern you sort of have with everybody around you, for and sort of like I guess the amount of people you have tested this on has reached a certain threshold where you're like, okay, I tried this for years, it's always the same, then it's probably a pattern which evolves around you and your behavior. Because we influence a lot how, like, what type of friendships we have with people around us, right? Like, if we're not a safe person, like, people don't tell us shit. Like, if we are judgmental, people probably lie to cover up their mistakes. Like, it's really like this sort of pattern of like action and reaction is a lot in any type of relationship, and it's influencing every relationship. So it really depends, sort of like, if this is a pattern which happens sort of like with everybody, then there's always some responsibility you have to carry yourself and how you need to fix this interaction. Because that's also the only thing we can do, right? Like, we can, of course, like, we can try to find like new friends and stuff, and like not find friends with that pattern anymore. But if we tried and that doesn't work, at some point we well have to take accountability that we might have to do something with us. Oh no. Yes, I got your comment. I was just still on the last topic. But that sounds terrible. Is there like anybody sort of like who's watching over you? Like any partner or something like that? Because I don't know, like, definitely don't go back into the bath when you don't feel all right. Like, we don't want any accidents, right? Your kitten is all you got? Okay. So take care of yourself then. I'm glad that you stepped out of the bath. And I hope you get well soon. When there are people with you, you're not alone, though you can feel lonely nevertheless. Ah, yeah. Well, this is, I guess, the more common use of these words, but I've actually experienced a lot of people just say like they feel alone even with people around, and then they just, mean loneliness. So it depends on the person how they define that word. What's my take on trauma bonded people? Boundaries are really hard. Like, trauma bonded is a dependency, or like essentially it's a bias in the relationship between you and the other person. So it's with that bias, I feel like boundaries can turn really hard to establish. Because there's just, I don't know, like, for example, you have this like a stereotypical situation of like two people like being in a relationship together, they sort of like trauma bonded, but they have like nobody else. So there's this expectations that they need to be everything for the other person. There's a lot of dependency on each other. And this can turn really toxic really quick. Just because, for example, like one person is doing worse, and then the other person is expected to help them get out of that bad phase, instead of like maybe keeping their own sanity, and like sort of like helping their own mental health and taking like a step back instead. But we just, yeah. Like sacrificing yourself sort of like for the relationship because it means so much and you're dependent on this. Like if you're dependent on like any type of situation or any type of circumstance, it's always harder to maintain normal boundaries because you're biased, right? Like if you're, for example, if you're desperate for money, if somebody tells you like, I don't know, like eat garbage for like $200, you're more likely to do it than if you're not desperate for money. So this is just essentially like the same thing if you trauma bonded, I feel like, which just makes boundaries really complicated. Like it's not an impossible situation or anything, but it's just a situation which, especially with people who were traumatized, because boundaries are a common issue, right? If you had like any type of trauma, to like have proper boundaries is rare. So yeah, just a really, I don't know, a common thing to, I guess, watch out for. But I'm not gonna say it's impossible. Like there's always that 1 in a million. Hi Namistrom, welcome, welcome. How you doing? What if you easily feel frustrated, bored with relationships? I mean, that could be an indication of many things. Like, it can be an indication that your relationships are entirely shallow, right, and don't give you anything. So, but yeah, like the thing is, like, you are like the 50-50 in like how your relationships are, right? So if you are like bored with the relationships around you, make them not boring. Like talk about, like, find out why you don't talk about the things which aren't boring, you know? Or like why they are bored. Like, do you only have relationships to people which can't share your hobbies? And maybe that's why it's boring, because you can talk about those things, but like nobody's getting it. And then you might, should look for friends in the right communities. Or is it maybe just that you feel some type of resistance to talk about the things you're really interested in, because you're scared of the feedback you might get, and that's why you never really share. And with the frustration, it can also sometimes, just like, it also depends, right, where the frustration is coming from. Sometimes we also do need to accept that we might be like pedantic and need to train to be a little more accepting of or see more of this difference between like, this is me and my wishes, but this is not how everybody needs to do it. You know, I'm the guy being pedantic about words. It's about habit. Well, it's like not wrong to expect something specific from words, right? Like, as long as you know that this is just the way you do it, but like any type of word is just a tool for communication. And so, I don't know, like, I don't like to see language as sort of like a scientific thing where you need to do like everything correct, but I just see language as a tool to understand each other. So this is sort of how I try to optimize it. And when you optimize language on communication and just understanding each other the best to your ability, then singular words all of a sudden become way less important. But yeah, that's just, I guess, how I handled that, because I can be pedantic myself sometimes, but yeah, just going from like singular words to just a tool for communication can be it can be like, you can be like pedantic about something else, but now it doesn't really affect anybody. Because if the goal is like streamlining communication from your side, it's just, there's less responsibility on the other person and less expectation. But yeah. Thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. How you doing? But what is your take, Jules, on trauma bonded people? And Fireshark, do you want to go more in depth about what you like, how you specifically feel frustrated with relationships? By the way, like, do tell, like, everybody here, quick reminder, do tell if you don't agree with something. Like, if you don't agree with something or you don't understand something, just ask. And sort of share your opinion. Like, mental health is a very individual topic, and it's really, I don't know, it's like more opinions is always helpful. With very few sentences. Connecting through trauma. Is, I think, the fewest I can do. It's so it really depends on like how you again personally see the term, because like some people only use trauma bonded when it's a like you really like you lived through something together specifically, and then the trauma can like be sort of like from the outside towards those people which are trauma bonded. Or it can even be like from like abuser to the victim. From what I've like how I've seen people use it. It can also be that you get to know somebody who is really well, just who has like really close trauma to your trauma, and then you sort of like can connect through having like a very similar experience. But yeah, again, it's like one of those things where like you just, it depends on how the person is defining trauma bonded. So yeah. Was that like, do you know what I mean? Followers? Are you following? I feel frustrated because they tend to not see the full picture and do stupid impulsive decisions, negatively impacting me from association or exhaustion from observing the situation. Okay. Like, I actually like, I had struggles with this, exactly like this Fireshark. This is connected, like, for me, it's connected to my autism. Do you have any diagnosis like that? Or have thought about this? Because to me, this is really like, I can relate to that a lot. Because I really think in like very abstract, sort of broad systems, especially about the world and how like our society works and stuff. And it's, to me especially, like, there is like a very, like back then especially, I had like a very like sort of black and white thinking. So there's like a good way to do things and there's a bad way to do things. And there's like always sort of like the optimized best way to do something. And because I had such a sort of need to optimize and do things right, and that was also connected to past trauma of doing things right, because like mistakes had such a big negative emotional impact and felt like unsafe and stuff like this. I optimized all of this, and when people then did like things which are different, or did things where it like negatively affect me, as sort of like collateral damage, even if it's not been anything big, is really been like super annoying to me, because I just assumed that everybody should take as much like consideration of like what they do as I am, even though I'm like hyper aware